Waiting.
You ready?
Yep.
I'm gonna open the floodgates.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Opinions like to apologize for delaying the show, but
Welcome, guys, as you're coming on. Make sure you mute yourself on Zoom so we don't hear your background noise if you don't mind. If you have questions, you can always unmute later. We're just going to give it another minute here because we got people in the waiting room and we got people texting us with technical issues. We're trying to help on the side, so it's all good. Want to make sure everybody gets on. We had about 120 people register. Welcome,
Niko,
welcome.
I will do my best to keep the mute process managed. And then, guys, in the meantime, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop them in the chat. Later on here towards the end, we'll have give everyone an opportunity to come off mute, ask questions, say hello, and we'll be hanging out here with you guys until every person's question is answered. So you have nothing to worry about on that front. Make sure to stick around to the very end. We're going to give you guys some really cool resources as well.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're just about ready to start. Be patient, guys. I appreciate you guys coming on early. It's always wise. Sometimes if you wait till the last minute and Zoom has a problem and then you're 5 minutes later, 20 minutes late, and you don't even know why. All right, guys, listen, I promise you this. If you don't get excited on this call, you better go to the doctor and get yourself checked out. I'm going to go over some things. I'm going to go over some things that should excite you, especially if you like money, if you want to make money. And I'm not talking about just making money, guys. I'm talking about the potential to become a millionaire within the next 2 years. Despite anything else you got going on, even if you're already a millionaire, I'm talking about making extra millions. Because we are in a unbelievable position right now in the beginning of a bull market, and in the beginning of the most recent bull market. And once you see what we got for you and what we've been doing and how we're helping people, you're going to be excited. So give me 1 second here. We're going to get this show on the road. Chad did mention that if you have questions, you can put them in the chat. It looks like, do you know how to access the chat? Down at the bottom of the Zoom screen, if you're new to Zoom, at the far right, I think there's a more button. Click on that. So there's a chat there. Chat should show somewhere down there. And also, if you guys have a camera and you want to come on camera, I don't mind seeing your faces. Michael, hey Michael, how you doing? I don't know which Michael it is, but it says Niko, long time. Nice to have you on here. If you can see me and hear me, I'd like you to like wave your hand or put in the chat. Yes, yes, yes. Give me some love. Give me some hearts. Give me some yeses. I don't know if we can do hearts on here. This isn't like a text message. All right. Brandon's giving me the hand signal that he can hear me. Jesse can hear me. Thank you, sir. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys, this is going to be all right, Chad. Thank you, sir. This is going to be a webinar. Unlike anything that you've seen. And I'm not just blowing smoke here, guys. We're going to show you some stuff that's happening. There's people in our mastermind group that are familiar with this. They're already used to it. But I can tell you this, before they joined, they didn't even know the terminology. And now some of them are trading experts. We got people on this call that, that are making 200+% per month in crypto. We got people on this call that turned 1,000, not on this call, but in our mastermind group. They might be on this call. They turned $1,000 into $40,000 in 3.5 months. We got people on this call that had made $30,000 in one trade. So I guess my question for you, and feel free if I ask questions, guys, it's just I do talk a lot. I'd like to explain things. I like to use analogies to make sure that everybody understands things. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I don't know what your experience level is in crypto or trading in general. Some of you might be scared of the word trading. Some of you might be thinking, oh, I don't know about this. I don't know about this trading or this crypto stuff, but I can assure you this, anything that you ever wanted to do that you didn't know how to do, and then you learned how to do it and then did it. This is like anything else. I mean, we have people that come in our group that are scared. They don't know how to do anything. But what we do differently, guys, is we don't just tell you how to do something. We don't send you a video showing you how to do something. We do it with you live. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you that. Let's see. And now I got some people sending stuff. So if you have any questions, now I'm going to go over a lot of stuff and you're going to get most of your questions answered. You might not even know what to ask right now, but if you do have questions already, feel free to put them in the chat and we will get to them one at a time. And we still got people joining. We still got people coming on a little bit late here, but we're going to get the show on the road right now. All right, guys. Well, welcome again. My name is Niko Mercuris. My partner, Chad Whitfield, is also on the line with us here. And you're welcome to be on camera if you want me to see your face. I love seeing people. I like to be interactive with people, but you don't have to be. If you just want to listen, I do like the interaction though in the chat to make sure that I know you're listening. So every once in a while I might ask you a question and you could just put the answer in the chat. That'd be great. Because I don't want to talk for 3 minutes and then find out no one could hear me or something like that. So basically, guys, I wanted to introduce myself and what we do. We are the Crypto Renegades. And we have been in existence for a little over 2 years now, since the end of 2021. And ironically, basically during a bear market when Bitcoin was coming down from the top, $69,000. And we had people making fortunes in the group. Now, how many people, you can answer this in your head or you can put it in the chat. How many people lost money in crypto because you got in at the top of the bull market back when it was 69,000 or somewhere near there, and you rode it all the way down? I see some people point to themselves. Yep. Feel free, guys, to respond. That way I know who, also when I see your answers to my questions, I know who is in that certain predicament. Guys, here's the difference. You know how many people I know that got into crypto when it was in the 40,000 range, made a ton of money up to 60, and then gave it all back on the way back down, and then said when it was 19, 18, 15, getting down to the bottom, said, I'm never doing that again. I'm staying away from crypto. And all they did wrong was get in at the wrong time and get out at the wrong time. That's it. That's all. That's the difference, guys. That's the difference between making a fortune and losing a fortune. You got to know when to get in and when to get out. Now, if you would have got in at 15, let's just say you did write it down, and you just, instead of getting out at 15, you doubled down and got back in, or you just stayed in and held on to what you had. By the way, guys, let me just say something. This is kind of amazing. I'm going to share my screen here, but this is kind of amazing. If you would have, at the very top of the bull market at 69,000, if you would have started buying Bitcoin with $100 a week at the very top at 69,000, and you spent $100 a week every week between then and now, you would have spent about $10,000. You would have invested about $10,000, and you would be up $13,400 right now. Even if you started at the top and dollar cost averaged all the way down every week until right now, you'd still be up. Kind of amazing. Imagine if you would have started at 15.5 when we hit our bottom here just a couple months ago, back in December and January of this year. Bitcoin is now more than doubled since then, just this year. So what I'm going to talk about here, guys, here's what I was just talking about. Total purchase amount, $10,000 from the time we were at our all-time high. We still have more people coming in here. All right, good. From the time we were at our all-time high to now, you'd be up 34%. If you would have started at the bear market bottom at 15,500 back in December of this year, you'd be up 115%. And when I say up 115%, guys, all I'm talking about is buying and holding. That's just if you would have bought Bitcoin at the bottom, 15.5. Right now it's 36.7. Larry's requesting to record this. I don't know if that's okay or not. I don't care. We are recording it for you though, so we can send you the replay, Larry. Oh, sorry guys, there's still people coming in. All right, so let me get back to that. Maybe Chad, keep an eye on the people coming in. There's like popping up. So basically what I'm getting at, guys, is that just buying at the right time can double your money, triple your money in a bull market. So let's just say Bitcoin goes to 130,000. How many people, show of hands or comment, how many people think Bitcoin will make it to $130,000? Yes. How many people aren't sure? Feel free to comment and just be honest. You know, if you're not sure, you're not, you were told by, you know, your Uber driver that it's going to go to zero, or you were told by your wife or your girlfriend or your husband that it's a scam and it's going to zero. How many people were told that? All right. So I'm going to show you some things here, guys, that will convince you. And that the goal isn't to convince you, but the goal is to educate you. And here's what most people don't know about crypto. We operate in cycles, bull and bear market cycles. So I'm going to share something here. And some of you may have seen this before. Others have not. Let me know if you can see my screen. This is called the Bitcoin rainbow chart. Say yes. I'm assuming you can see it. The reason why I'm asking is because every time I move a slide over onto this screen, because I have multiple screens in front of me, I just want to make sure everybody sees it. Okay. So this is the rainbow chart. But what it does, what it shows you is if you go down here to the left, guys, and you go all the way down to the bottom left, this is 2010. This is when pretty much from the beginning. So if you look down here in the blue on the bottom of the rainbow, that is the bear market bottom. And the red is the bull market top. So if you'll notice, we hit a bull market top, and what follows the top always is the bear market bottom. Bull market top, bear market bottom, bull market top, bear market bottom, bull market top. This was the most recent 169,000, bear market bottom right here, 15.5. And here we are right now. What are these lines going up? This is the Bitcoin halving. Every 4 years, we have what's called the Bitcoin halving. That is where the supply of Bitcoin being mined gets cut in half.
Out there, whatever, they're not supposed to give you closure, or you're supposed to be best friends.
All right, guys, make sure you mute yourself out, guys, if you're talking. So Fred asked, is it bottom or would you consider it a correction? Are you talking about right now, Fred, for where we're at right now? No, I think the bottom was at 15.5. Could we pop back down to 25 or 30? Yes. But let me just show you why it doesn't matter. If we look over here to the far left, like I said, each one of these lines is the Bitcoin halving. That happens every 4 years. So we have what's called bull market cycles and bear market cycles. The bull market cycle and the bear market cycle last about 4 years. That's about 18 months on the way up and about 18 months on the way down, plus some sideways action before the next halving. And then boom, right after the halving, boom, bull market tops, and then 18 months down to the bottom. This is kind of like what you're talking about, Fred. This was back in 2019 where we did hit a bottom and then we popped all the way back up and then came back down to a double bottom. So a double bottom is just a retest of the previous low before it spikes up. And that's a common thing that happens. But then as soon as we go through the halving, boom, new all-time high, 64,000, 65,000, a little bit of a dip here, and then a double top. Double top happens right before it drops. Not all the time, but that's called a double top when it consolidates and rescinds down like 20, 30% like it did here and comes all the way back up and cannot get any higher. And it dropped all the way back down to 15.5. So my point, guys, is that once we went through the halving here, we see a big push to the upside. We call that a hockey stick up, hockey stick up, hockey stick up. Happens almost it happened every time so far since 2010. Is that a guarantee that's going to happen again coming up here? No, there's probably no guarantees in life, right? No guarantees on, it depends on the world economy, but I can tell you this, what's more likely to happen is that we do have a hockey stick up, but what might even happen that's different this time than just going up into the red, orange, and red zone is to pop right through the rainbow chart. And there's reasons why, and it's because of the economy. It's because of what's going on in the world. It's because of inflation. It's because of interest rates. It's because of the printing of the US dollar, the Federal Reserve, and the fiat currency, out of control spending and printing, which causes people to move money from fiat currency, which is US dollars, into other safer asset classes like real estate. And believe it or not, Bitcoin. Bitcoin historically has gone up whenever there is a economic calamity or some scarcity happening in the media around the Federal Reserve or war or anything like that. Consequently, it happens also with real estate. You know who suffers the most in a recession is poor people, and the less fortunate, because interest rates cause property values to go up and it causes rent to go up. So it's kind of the opposite. It's counterintuitive what you would think. There's I can spend hours, and sometimes I do on our live calls in our mastermind, talking about all kinds of things going on around the world and how that's affecting what we're doing here. But just to stick to the point here, guys, is that we are right here in a bear market coming from the bottom. Now, the best time to have gotten in would have been at 15.5 at the beginning of this year. And now we're at 30. And some people might say, oh, it's too late. I missed the big run up. No. Guys, Bitcoin right now is less than 1% of the entire investing world. There's 40,000 wallets in existence. 40,000 wallets around the world holding some type of crypto or Bitcoin. And out of those 40,000 wallets, I would imagine thousands of them are owned by the same people. Not all of them, but I doubt that there's 40,000 individual people behind 40,000 wallets, because I know people who have 20 or 30 wallets or 50 wallets. So there are probably thousands of those 40,000 wallets that are owned by the same people. And what does that mean? That means that when we get to 80,000 wallets, 150,000 wallets, 200, 500,000 wallets, 1 million wallets, which is a fraction of the amount of people on the planet who will ultimately, eventually have wallets in the decentralized space in crypto. You're talking about a market cap going from 1 trillion to 5 trillion to 10 trillion. Well, gold right now is $10 trillion. That's the market cap for gold. Once Bitcoin gets to the same market cap as gold, Bitcoin will be in the $1 million to $5 million range. This isn't a if, this is a when. And so Bitcoin could be 5, 10 million, $25 million for one Bitcoin. There are people out there that think Bitcoin is worthless. And I would argue that I don't see how you could even make such a statement when it takes 36,000 US dollars just to buy one of them. And that has been continually going up. So guys, no other asset in the history of mankind, at least in a civilized in the civilized world, has gone up in value more than Bitcoin has in the last 10 years. Not one other asset. You can't even name one. Bitcoin has gone up 6 million% since its inception in 2009. So yes, BTC is here to stay. Big banks are also behind it. And BlackRock is now getting involved, as Fred just mentioned in the chat. That is correct. You guys may have heard on the news, if you're not paying attention, that BlackRock, which is one of the biggest, is the biggest, besides Vanguard, investment firm in the world, with trillions of dollars under management, has been applying to the SEC to be able to trade, to open up a Bitcoin ETF, exchange traded fund, trading Bitcoin futures, and then putting investors' money into it as an investment. Because there's a lot of people that have 401ks, a lot of people that have investments in these mutual funds, and that will give BlackRock the ability to also diversify into Bitcoin. What do you think is going to happen to the price of Bitcoin when that gets approved? And I mean, look what happened here. By the way, this is Bitcoin futures contracts chart I'm showing you right here. This is one of my sub accounts. I'm gonna show you some trades. I'm gonna trade live, and I'm gonna show you how this works. But right here, let's just go back a little bit. Right here, this was around October 16th, just about 3 weeks ago. BlackRock got was in the middle of applying for their ETF, exchange rated fund, to get approval with the SEC. The news broke out that they got approved, and bam, this shot up, even though it was fake news. This was just fake news, and it went up from 27,199 approximately to 30,000. That was a $3,000 move. Can anybody tell me what percentage that is? If Bitcoin went up from 27,000 to 30,000, that's only a $3,000 gain. What percentage gain is that? Roughly 10%. Keith says 10%. Fred, roughly 10%. Yeah, because Bitcoin's about 30 grand and it went up 3,000. So that's roughly 10%. So look what happened since then. It consolidated back down. This is consolidation. Whenever there's a big spike up like this, what happens is people sell because they made a profit from here to here. And so they sell off. It consolidates a little bit, comes back down to the norm, and then it forms what's called a bull flag pattern. Bull because it's going up, it's bullish. Flag because it kind of looks like a flag. And this is it right here. This is more the flag right here. And then what we know as traders, because we teach technical analysis and we show you how to spot these things and we show you how to trade these patterns, is that 70% of the time, whenever there is a bull flag pattern, 70% of the time it will break to the upside. 70% of the time. That means 30% of the time it will break to the downside. But we don't gamble. We're not here to like predict which way it's going to go. What we do is we wait for it to do what we think it's going to do, and then we go long. So as you can see my yellow lines here, I like to draw on the chart. So I'm always doing this, and then I'm sharing in our mastermind where we're at currently with this particular pattern and what I think's about to happen. So we're constantly giving our signals in the group. So this one formed this bull flag pattern. It starts going sideways. And as it's going sideways, it's narrowing into the apex. This is called the apex, where it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And you can see here where it reached the top, broke through here a little bit, came back down into the flag and reached, and then retested again, hit the bottom. And then it dipped down a little bit, but hit this line. I'll get to that in a second, because this is very interesting, guys. Once you understand this, you're going to learn today how to literally pull money out of thin air when you understand this. And the better you get at this, and the more you're around people doing this daily, the more money you can pull out of thin air every single day, because this is like taking candy from a baby when you understand what's happening. Okay, forget about the stock market. I can go trade the stock market. I traded the stock market for years. I went to OTA, Online Trading Academy. I spent almost $30,000, $27,500 to learn how to become a trader, to learn how to get hired by a hedge fund. And I did very good trading stocks. I can go trade stocks anytime I want. But as soon as I started trading Bitcoin futures contracts, I never looked back, because every once in a while I'll get a stock tip from a stock friend of mine and I'll buy it. I have a stock portfolio, but this is much more fun and much easier. Bitcoin's volatile enough for you to make gains every day, scalp every day if you want to, and not have to worry about 20 different companies and what they're doing and doing reviews and investigating who's behind the company and public news and all that crap. To me, that's crazy compared to this. Watch this. So bull flag pattern, breaks to the upside, we go long. Goes up here, hits a peak, consolidates, we get out, creates a bull flag pattern, breaks out, we go long. Went up, created another tiny little bull flag right here. And by the way, when it hits these lines, these are resistance levels. The reason why it can't go through that right now is because it's resisting. So we know where the flag lines are, the resistance levels are, and we draw them for you and we show you where to draw them. But we also know where the next support and resistance levels are. Once it breaks through this, bam, here's the next one. And that's what it did. It came right up and hit it, tried to get through it again, couldn't get through, consolidated, created a little bit of a sketchy flag here, but bull flag nonetheless, broke out to the upside, retested, and boom, shot up. And not only did it shoot up, but it actually came back and retested the top. What was resistance, meaning it couldn't get through, has now become support. That's a good sign to go long. So we go long. And then what happens? Boom, it shot, this one shot way up. This is all just within the last couple of weeks, guys. Another bull flag, 70% of the time breaks to the upside. Yawn, it's getting too predictable here. Boom, shoots to the upside. But look what it did before it did that. It literally shot all the way up to this level and then stopped and then came back down and then consolidated. So what do we do in our group? We get ready for the breakout. That's all we do. We get ready for the breakout. And of course, we post exactly when we think that's going to happen in our group so that everybody can take advantage of it. So we're sharing those signals. And then so this is what happened, guys. So this is the most recent bull flag. Started consolidating, hitting the bottom, hitting the bottom, hitting the bottom. And you can see there's some spike ups. I could actually move this down here, or I could just draw another one. I can go up here and get a drawing tool and really show you where this bull flag first was. So bull flag, hitting the top, hitting the bottom, hitting the top, hitting the bottom, squeezing into an apex. What do? We wait for the breakout. This broke out to the upside, but then it came back down and retested the top, which is okay. It kept retesting. But then it hit this yellow line. And let me just go back and show you what this yellow line is. I put this yellow line here because when Bitcoin first came up and then went sideways and created that bull flag, I noticed that it didn't go all the way to the apex. It stopped right here where this upward trend line is. So I drew the line right to here. And then when it broke out and went up and went sideways again, I noticed that before it broke out to the upside, it literally popped down and retested that line right on the nose. So I just continued to draw the line. And then when Bitcoin went way out of the way over here, I noticed it was coming back towards this towards this area. Now I didn't have this line here. Let me just go and get rid of it and I'll show you. This is what it looks like when I'm doing this. This line wasn't here, but I noticed that I had this line from down here and I'm like, well, let me bring that line up and see if we're going to bounce off that. And so I bring the line up. Actually, this is it over here. And I noticed something interesting. As soon as it comes down and retests the top of this bull flag pattern, it comes over and it starts bouncing on this line and climbing it. So I'm like, oh, okay, there is something to that line after all. And then this is where it got a little interesting. It broke out to the downside, which meant to me that there wasn't going to be a big pop-up right here yet. It broke to the downside, retested, came all the way down, wicked to the bottom of the original bull flag. You guys following me so far? I know that this might be a little confusing for some of you, but I'm going to show you how easy it's going to be for you if you're with us. Let me show you this. So this bottom of this bull flag, it did continue to bounce on that. Even when it broke out of this line, it just continued to bounce on it. And then it started, and then it wicked up one more time and hit the top of this line. All right. And because we know some things that are about to happen, guys, bottom, this is a higher high. This is a lower high. And whenever you have higher highs, higher than the previous highs, and then higher lows, higher than the previous lows, that's a good time to go long. And what happened? Boom, Bitcoin shot up and hit 38,000 right on the nose. If I continue this line, some other interesting things start to happen. It hit it here. It came up and hit resistance on it here, broke through, retested the top, shot up, and then came all the way back down, all the way to this level, and then came back up and consolidated, and now is bouncing on it again right now. Bouncing on it again right now. And What is this blue thing I got here? Well, this was the little channel it was forming before it broke out. And whenever there's a channel like this, it's very simple. When it breaks to the upside, we go long. When it breaks to the downside, we go short. So we're here showing you how to go long and go short, but we're sharing that in our group constantly. So let me just look here, see. Any other questions, Niko? The fact that you're sharing this info for free is incredible. Thank you so much. Well, you're welcome. Fred, what's a catalyst to break through the resistance and support in crypto markets? The catalyst to break through resistance support. That's a great question. So a catalyst could be anything. It could be Elon Musk saying, you know, I think I am going to start accepting Bitcoin to buy Tesla cars. Bam. All of a sudden, Bitcoin shoots through the roof, unannounced and unexpectedly. If I go to the daily chart, and let me just zoom back and show you something that happened when when Elon Musk actually did say something like that. This happened. This happened when Elon Musk said right about here in November of 2021, Bitcoin dropped from almost $60,000 down to 40,000. That was a huge drop when he said that he no longer was sure about Bitcoin because of the environmental problems. You might have remembered that comment that he had. Well, that did some damage right there. So all it takes is one person like that. Or news that BlackRock is getting, if BlackRock gets approved for their ETF, you'll probably see Bitcoin shoot up, and it's not going to shoot up to 70,000 overnight, but what it will do is it'll shoot up into the 40 zone. And as you can see here, guys, see this over here? This is resistance coming from 18,000 up to 40. It couldn't get through. Bounced all the way back down to 30, back up to 40, back down to 30 before it broke through. This is like a month of just up and down in this zone. Then it went up to an all-time high, 64.5, almost 65,000, 64.9, and then came all the way back down to this zone and bounced for a month and a half, almost 2 months, went sideways, bouncing, broke back out, came all the way back up, breached the previous all-time high by a little bit, just spiked up. We call that a double top, and then came all the way back down and then dropped all the way down to this level again and stopped. And then several months of just bouncing on this level and not being able to get through. And then finally we were basically in the bear market. Bam, came down below it and then bounced on the top, couldn't get back through, and then dropped lower, and then ultimately dropped here to the 15.5. And that was the bottom. And as you can see, it's been climbing up steadily ever since. So from here to where it's at now is, you know, about 120% gain back up in this direction. And look what we're hitting. We're just coming up to this resistance level, guys. We're just coming up to the same level that caused so much resistance and support before. So is it going to just pop right through that really easily? Probably not. It might hit the top of this, and then you see these two red lines I have here. That is an upward trending channel since down here, since it was 15.5. It went up to the top, came down to the bottom, went up above the top, bounced on it, went back through and came down to the bottom, came back up and hit the top, and then back and fell through the bottom, retested the bottom. And then right here, if I zoom in more, you can even see it. It wicked all the way up and retested it again, and then finally climbed up and broke back in. And that's where we're at now. We're back in this upward trending channel. And we even wicked up to the top of it right here. We wicked up through the top of it. So that could be the touch of the top, and that could ultimately cause it to now maybe hit it a couple times and then finally trend back down to the bottom. The bottom of what? The bottom of this upward trending channel, which could be somewhere here in the 34, 30 zone. If it comes down faster, it could come down to 32 again. This line right here. It is possible, but I think that it could come and retest this line, but it may do it gradually, just like it did here, gradually, just like it did here, gradually, just like it did here, gradually. So you guys starting to see some patterns here. You're starting to get a little glimpse of a little understanding, more than you had before you came on this call. So what will we do? Well, if it breaks through this line and retest, I'm going long. And I will let everybody in our mastermind know so that they catch that move. But if it bounces and bounces and bounces and starts to trend down, I'm going to short it all the way down to here. What does that mean? That means I'm selling my Bitcoin? No, I'm shorting. I'm hedging. So my goal is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible between now and the next all-time high. And this line right here, guys, is the next halving. That's the next Bitcoin halving, which is April 2024. We got about, I don't know, what, 6 months, 5 or 6 months before we get through the halving, and then hockey stick. You remember that? You remember that chart I showed you? Usually when we go through the halving, we see a new all-time high, halving, new all-time high, halving, new all-time high. And here we got a little ways to go to get to this halving. But between now and then, we're going to probably see some ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. And then once we get to the halving, this is where things get crazy, guys, because this is when we go from 40 or 50,000, 45,000 up to, 120, 130, 150, possibly even more. Now, how does this affect you, and how are you guys going to get rich in 2 years? Anybody got a clue? Anybody got any questions before I go any further? Cody, where do you get these charts for live trades? All right. This is the platform I use. It's called Femex Futures. I'll share a link for those who want to get in on that. Niko is on Femex. Somebody answered that question. Thank you, Mariel. Mark, does Femex charge paid subscription rates? No. They do charge transaction fees, though, obviously, when you get in and out of trades, just like Ameritrade or E-Trade or any other trading company. Buy the rally, sell the dips. If you're shorting, yes. Please send me the link. I will post that. All right, guys. So how are you guys going to make money? Well, first of all, let me see a show of hands. How many people in this group are currently trading and say I already trade, or who wants to learn how to trade? Mark, follow your lead. I want to learn. I want to learn. I want to learn. Yes. Okay, good. Please participate, guys. If you want to learn, I want to make sure that I'm not wasting anybody's time here. I already but want to learn. All right. I'm currently holding. I don't understand the futures, but want to learn. Okay, great. All right, guys. I appreciate your participation. I want to make sure that I'm over delivering for you guys today. I love teaching. For one thing, some people ask me, oh, Niko, well, because we do have a paid mastermind group, guys. We do have a high-end mastermind. And, we have people in there who paid a lot to get in there. And some people say, well, why if you're so good at trading and you can make so much money, why are you wasting your time or spending time teaching? Or why do you charge people to teach them? It's very simple, guys. When you're good at something, well, first of all, trading can be a lonely sport. It's a solitary type of endeavor. It's me against my computer screens, right? Let me stop sharing for a second so you can see me. When you're I have 2 giant monitors in front of me. I can trade on this side and I can do other business on this side. I have a real estate investment business. I have an e-commerce store. I have coaching clients. I mentor people. I help people, and I love it. I love it. It keeps me busy, and also helps me it keeps me interacting with like-minded people who like investing, who also like to trade. I think it's a waste. Before people used to ask me anyway. Friends, family, everybody would be reaching out all the time. Hey, can you show me how to do this? Can you show me how to do this? And one time I had so many people asking me at one time that I said, listen, I don't have enough time to help everybody individually. Let me just do a big Zoom call. And so I did some Zoom calls, and I was helping people get into ICOs, and I was helping people understand how these things work. And people started getting some ridiculous responses or, returns. And then it just got out of control with how many people needed help. So I'm like, listen, guys, my time is too valuable. I can't I can't spend one-on-one time. And I'm not saying that to brag or boast, but I was getting pulled in all kinds of directions. I was getting too thinned out. And it's stressful if you're going to spend that much, because if I'm going to spend that much time doing something, I can just trade and make a lot more money. So I figured in order to equalize that out, we would start a coaching or mentoring program, because in order for me to spend that time, and Chad as well, we got to be compensated for it. But you know, it's hard to charge one person a lot. If you wanted me to fly to your house and sit with you and teach you how to do this, it would probably be in the 6-figure range, because that would take a week or two out of my time. And that wouldn't be worth it for me unless I was overcompensated. But in a group coaching setting, I can help numerous people simultaneously and not charge a lot per person. And that makes it worthwhile for everybody. But I will tell you one thing that we do that you will not see. Someone says they don't have any audio. Can everybody hear me okay? Yes, everybody can hear me. Okay. June, it looks like it might just be you. Check your settings over there. You might have a mute button or something going on. But I lost my train of thought there. But in the cool thing about the group setting, guys, is that you know, you sometimes don't know what you don't know. And sometimes it takes somebody else to ask the question or someone else to pose the problem. And you seeing their problem and you seeing the result or the answer to their problem or the solution to their problem to get an answer to a question you didn't even have. And you learn by other people being taught. It's just like if I was a plumber and you wanted to come work for me and be an apprentice, I could say, here's your tool belt, here's your toolkit, go fix Mrs. Jones' toilet. That wouldn't work very well, right? You don't know how to do it yet. Maybe you weren't taught yet. Like, well, here's a video on fixing a toilet. Watch that and go fix her toilet. Okay, that would not be very good. That would not be very good teaching or coaching on my part. But if I say, here's the tool belt, all right, now come on, let's go. And you come with me to Mrs. Smith's house and you watch me fix her toilet and I show you how to do it. And I say, hand me that tool. Okay, you see that right there? Turn that. And I'm showing you hands-on. You're going to learn much faster and much better. It's hands-on coaching, hands-on training. But you know what's even better? Let's say I had 5 apprentices. I had them all come, but they watched me help you fix the toilet. They watched you fix it, but they watched me showing you how to fix it. Don't you think they would learn a lot better too? So sorry for the analogies, guys. Sometimes I use some dumb ones, but the point I'm trying to get across is that we do things very differently here than other coaching programs and other mentoring groups. I have been in several stock trading signaling groups, stock trading private subscriptions, stock trading masterclasses. I've been in several of them where you just pay a monthly fee and these guys just send signals to your cell phone or something like that. Buy now, sell now, whatever. And here's your target prices and all that stuff. And if you don't know what you're doing, that's all going to be mumbo jumbo to you. If you don't have a screen in front of you, you know exactly what his entry is and his exit is. And not only that, but if you get that text message or you don't see the text message until an hour from now or an hour after he meant for you to go long and you go long at the wrong time, you're in trouble. So if you're not really literally watching the person who's doing the trading and actually copy trading them, literally modeling after them and doing what they're doing live on the screen, that's what we do here. So imagine if all of you were in my private group and you all had this platform set up and you all had it on your screen and you're watching me right now. And I'm like this. I'm like, okay, guys, I'm going to the 5-minute chart right now. This is the 5-minute chart. We are in this upward channel. It looks like we just bounced again on this yellow line. I'm going to go short right now. And I go over here and you already know how to do all this because I showed you how to set this up and you got in our group and you watched the training videos, the basic trainings to set this up. And I'm going to say, okay, look, guys, I'm at 25x leverage. That's high. I don't expect you to do that, but I'm at 25x leverage, but I'm going to show you something here and why it doesn't matter what kind of leverage you're in. And I'm going to risk 50% of this account balance right now. And I'm going to go short. Boom. I just went short right now with 2,571 contracts. That's $2,571 just for you guys to know what that means. But I'm at 25x leverage. So take that 2,571 and divide it by 25. Can anybody give me
Hey,
the answer?
Niko, your screen isn't shared.
Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. Hold on one second. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I just went short right here is what I did. And so what I was, let me just relive what I just did. So I told you, see this channel right here? Bitcoin just came up and hit this yellow line. It's bouncing. I'm going to go short. So I came over here and I set my leverage for 25x. I confirmed it. See, it's up here. It says 25x. And then I set my size to 50% contracts and I went short. Boom. And then there's my entry right there. Just happened. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a stop loss in. I'm going to come down here where it says TP and SL, take profit stop loss. I'm going to click the little pencil and I'm going to click 10% on the stop loss. And I'm not going to put the take profit target in right now. So there's my stop loss and there's my entry point. I'm betting that it's going to go down. Where is it going to go? Well, probably just to the bottom of this channel right here, because it's been doing that. It's been going up and down. But just since I did this, 30 seconds ago, I'm up 2% on this trade. So what I was saying is that I went long with 2,571 contracts. Down here is the size. So how much am I risking? As I'm at 25x leverage. So if you take 2571 and divide it by 2571, divide that by 25, I am risking right here $104 on this trade. So I'm showing you guys right now, you can do this with very little money. And you remember in the beginning of this call, I asked you, how high did that big spike go up when it went up? And some people said 10%. That was about 10%. Remember that? Jeremy says he has no audio. Sorry, Jeremy, I don't know. Can everyone else hear me okay? Everybody's giving me the thumbs up, Jeremy, so I think it's on your end, my friend. So let's just say that this goes down 10%. It's not, because this little move from here to here is probably less than 1%. But let's say we're talking about something like this, where it goes down 10%. Well, if I'm only risking $100 and I have no leverage and it goes down 10%, I'm only going to make 10 bucks, right? 10% of $100, 10 bucks. That's not enough to pay your mortgage off or take your mom on vacation or your girlfriend or your wife or husband or whoever. So we're not going to get excited about that. But if I'm at 25x leverage and I go long with, or I go short with $100 and I'm at 25x leverage and this goes down 10%, I make $10 times 25. That's $250. So what did I just make? I made 150% on my money on a 10% move. So okay, Jerry, Muriel, if you don't mind, just say that in the group. Just somebody send Jeremy a message. He can't hear me say that and tell him what his problem is, but it's not us. So while I'm talking here, I'm up 1% on this trade. No big deal. 1%. I'm just showing you this as an example. I'm only risking $100. But here's another cool thing, guys. Some people say, oh yeah, well, 25x leverage. What if it goes the other way? Don't you lose 25x leverage? Don't you lose also a lot? Well, no, because I just put my stop loss at 10% of my entry. So if this went down 10%, I'd make $250. But if it goes up against me, it's going to hit my stop loss and I'm going to lose 10% of my margin. Not 10% of the 2,571 contracts, but 10% of my margin, which is $100. So I'm risking $10 to make $250. So if you watch YouTube and you go and ask any guru out there who's never traded before but heard through the grapevine that leverage is dangerous, they will be telling you leverage is dangerous. Yes, of course. If you place a trade and you don't have a stop loss and it goes against you, and it can only go so far before it hits your liquidation. My liquidation on this little trade that I just did is 37,880. It's right here. That means if I didn't have that stop loss and this went all the way up to 37,880, which is not very far away. Let's just look at it. 37,880, which is right. 37,000. Let me just put this line here for now. 37,880 is right here. So it would have to go against me and go all the way up to here to hit this to liquidate me. And if that happened, I would lose the whole $100 that I'm risking. But I would never let that happen because I put a stop loss at 5 to 10% of my entry. Sometimes I go 3 to 5%, but it depends on when I think I need to give it some wiggle room. I'll go 10%. So what am I risking here, guys? It's almost like I'm going to bet $10 to make $200, and my odds of winning are 70 to 80%. Why are my odds of winning 70 to 80%? Because that's my win ratio, almost 80%. Of the calls that I put out, of the signals that I take, and the calls that I put in our group, we're right about 70 to 80% of the time. So that means that if you take 10 trades in a row and you lose 3, you're going to lose $30. But you win the other 7, you're going to make, $200 times 7. Entry to sell percentage. What do you put your sell price out at? You mean the take profit target, Chad? To get out? So on this one, I didn't put anything. I just put a stop loss in case it turns on me, because I'm not so sure it's going to stop when it hits this blue line. But if I didn't want to pay attention and I wanted to go take a nap, I would put my take profit target right here, which is at 36.4. And I would just go do the same thing, click that button, add, and put 36,400 right here. And that's 10%. That's only a 10% gain if it hits this blue line right here. So that is a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. I don't like that. That's not good. I would normally not do that, but I'm giving you guys an example. But here's the cool thing. I can move as this starts to go towards my profit and in profit. I can move my stop loss into profit or to break even whenever I want. Right now, I'm leaving it here so it has a little wiggle room. So that's how we do it, guys. And I'm going to show you something else, just so you really understand. Give me 1 second. I got to go off this screen to find the other screen. I accidentally closed our Telegram group. I'm going to share again. All right. You guys back? You can see my screen again? All right. I'm going to move this over here. This is our mastermind Telegram group right here at the top. All of this stuff here down here, guys, these are just different cryptos, different new token launches that we've gotten into over the months. But up here is the Crypto Renegades mastermind and the Crypto Renegades launch room at the top. So I'm gonna click on the mastermind right there, and I'm going to show you what it looks like inside there. These are members posting their gains from just earlier today. Paul, I stuck with it after being in a loss position. Yep, and it came back, hit him 109% gain, and that was a short. He was at 40x leverage. James, 73% on this short. MK, 80% on that short. How did they know to go short? Niko, 80%. That's me over here on this side. Roberto, 42%. Nicholas, 59. Nicholas, brand new, just started a couple weeks ago, 59%. You know why? Because you don't really even have to know what you're doing if you're following me and doing what I'm showing you to do. You learn by doing, and you're just taking the action steps. If you take the action steps, you're going to get the same results. That was me. That was a long. Okay, so what happened? I went long. Boom, made 120% up here, went short. You can see my little red arrow right there. As soon as it peaked, I went short and rode it back down for another 80%. That's what happened in that group. That's what everybody's talking about. That was me. So this is multiple times a day, guys. This isn't just like once a month. This isn't, when you watch CNBC News and they're talking about the hedge fund making 20% a year, or real estate, or maybe they're lucky if you get 8 or 9% a year, or 20 or 30%. Maybe even somebody is really good and they made 200% in a year. I mean, that would be considered an awesome return, right? A lot of people that are in the stock market think that that's good. But in our group, we're pulling, 70% to 120%. If I just keep scrolling up, 34%, 11%, 11% is great, Roberto, but we don't even look at that as good anymore these days. 30%, 9%, over and over, 163. This was XRP. I went long on XRP. It was climbing up the other day. I was at 25x leverage. So how, if XRP is only, I mean, let's just look at this, guys. If the opening price was 67 cents and the current price when I had 163% gain was 71 cents, that means it only went up like 67, 68, 69, 70, 71. It only went up like 4 cents. How do you make 163% gain on a 2% move? Or a 4% move? Sorry, that's about 4%. It's this 4% times 25, 163%. You cannot make these kinds of gains without using leverage, and everybody's scared to use leverage. But the big players, the guys who make the big money quick, use leverage. And because you don't need big moves in the market, you need tiny little moves, and you just have to be a scalper. You got to be a ninja. You just get in and get out. Is that difficult? No, I'm showing you. While I'm talking, I'm showing you how we're doing it right here. Anthony asked, is there any sort of trading bot available? Yes, actually, Anthony, if you look up here at the top of this platform, it says trading bots. New, click here. I don't use them. You know, and no offense to you for the question, because everybody wants the easy button. Everybody wants to be able to just, you know, set up a bot and go to the beach and have the bot make money for them. But unfortunately, you know, if that was a reality that really worked consistently,
Pues quédese callado, hermano.
people would be billionaires. You know, hedge funds would be using them, and you know, maybe they do have certain bots that are helping to scalp minor little moves. The problem is, though, is that a lot of the bots use what's called a wave signal, or the wiggle. They call it the wiggle, where it's constantly buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. It's buying when it hits a bottom and sells when it hits the top. Buys when it hits the bottom, sells when it hits the top. Over and over and over again, hundreds of times an hour, more than you could possibly trade yourself. And it's making 50 cents here, 25 cents here, 80 cents here, 100 cents here, 100 cents, dollar. So now that's okay. That sounds great, but you also have fees, and you can't use those bots on certain platforms because you have what's called entrance and exit fees, maker and taker fees. Some of you might have heard those terms before. Maker and taker. So the platforms have to make money, and they make their money by giving you the sandbox to play in, so to speak. And so every time you go long or go short, you can see down here, it's $1.54 that my unrealized P&L, that's what it's going to cost me. I have to make more than $1.54. If I close this trade out right now, I have to be more than $1.54 in profit for me to take home anything. And I am. I'm at $3.82. So if I close this trade right now, I would get hit with $1.54 fee, but I would walk away with $1.80 or something like that. But I'm up almost 4% on this trade, and it is heading in my direction. So let's just look. Let's just keep talking, but I'll show you how simple this is, because I could do 20 things at once while I'm doing this. I could be over here talking to you guys. But this is the fun part about this. Once you understand this, guys, you could be sitting in your chair right now in your underwear, like you probably are right now, and do this in your spare time while you're doing everything else that you normally do. I mean, like while you're, maybe you got to go to work tomorrow. Maybe you got to get up early. Well, you can set it and forget it. You can set these trades up before you go to bed. You can wake up in profit, or you can wake up with a tiny little loss, maybe no loss at all, because we show you how to set up trailing stop losses as well. But the point is, guys, is that even if I sucked at this and I was guessing and only winning 50% of the time instead of 70 or 80% of the time, you would still make money. And here's how. Because if you do 10 trades in a row with me and I'm only right half the time, and on the losers, you lose $10 5 times out of 10, and on the winners, you make $30, $40, $50 5 times out of 10, you're still going to be way up at the end of 10 trades. So the good news is that we have a much better win to loss ratio than that. And then we show you how to protect yourself from loss. Keith says it's all about mitigating risk. Absolutely. Brendan says leverage creates freedom. Yes. And guys, let's talk about leverage for a second. Leverage is how everybody who is rich got rich. Let me give you some examples. Even if you won the lottery, the jackpot, it's because of leverage. You put $1 in, buy the Powerball ticket, and if you win $1 billion, it's not because you invested $1 and got $1 billion. It's because 300 million people invested $1 and you got all of it. That's leverage. If you bought a piece of property, let's say you bought an investment property or your house, for instance, when you buy your house and you put 20% down, let's say it's a $500,000 house, you saved up, you put $100,000 down, you buy the house for 500 grand. The bank is giving you the other $400,000. This might be common sense to a lot of you, but most people don't think of it this way. But you're controlling a $500,000 asset with $100,000. You're leveraging the bank's money. Now, let's just say you bought that house and over the next 10 years, the house goes up in value 10% a year for 10 years. Well, guess what? In 10 years, the house is now worth $1 million. And how much do you owe on it? Well, you've been making your mortgage payment. You probably paid mostly interest over the next 10 years, but let's say you paid down $100,000 and you put down $100,000. So now you owe $300,000 on the house and it's worth $1 million. Who gets that equity? You or the bank? You get it. You get the equity, guys. And so guess what? And here's more leverage. Let's say if you were a really smart investor, instead of selling the house and walking away with 700 grand after paying off the bank, you refinance the house for 80% loan to value. This is what Donald Trump does. This is what all the millionaire real estate guys do. So you got $1 million house. Doesn't matter if you like them or hate them. This is how you make billions of dollars. You take the $1 million house, you go get a 80% LTV loan to value refinance loan, and you pull out 800,000. You pay your first bank off 300,000, and you pocket 500,000 tax-free, and you still own the house. But now you got a new mortgage. You're thinking, oh wait, well, what about my new payment? Well, you put a tenant in there, and you let the tenant pay the new loan off, and you take the 500,000 and you go and put $100,000 down payments on 5 more houses. Now you're controlling another $1 million. You're controlling another $2 million worth of assets with $500,000. You see how you can compound that? You see how people get rich that way? And then in another 5 years, you got another, $500,000, $800,000, $1 million worth of equity in all those other 5 houses. You refinance it, pull all the cash out. By the way, you can spend that cash and do whatever you want with it, tax-free. Why are you not paying taxes? Because it's loan proceeds. You don't pay taxes on loans because it has to be paid back. The trick is that you're not paying it back. The tenants are. And that's how you get rich in real estate. You hopefully buy distressed that needs a little work. You rehab, you put a little money into it, which you could borrow, by the way. You can borrow the money to buy the house, borrow the money to rehab the house, and then refinance it, pull all the cash back and pay your lenders off and own the house without any money out of your pocket. Now, I could teach a totally different course on how to do that in real estate, but I'm going to show you how to get the money trading to go and buy all the properties you want. And so excuse me if I get a little worked up here, guys, because I get excited about this stuff when I'm talking about it, because these are my passions: trading, real estate. I love the idea of all. I like this money, I guess. I'm sure I'm not the only one. But so you can do the same thing with Bitcoin. Not many things out there can you borrow against. So let's just say you get in with us, you start trading with us, and Bitcoin goes up 5x between now and the next bull market top. Well, it's 36,000 right now. That's conservative, guys. Let's just say it goes up 5x, 36,000 times 5. That's 180,000. Let's just say it goes up 4x. Forget that. Times 4. That's $144,000. So if you bought one Bitcoin right now and Bitcoin goes up 4x between now and this time next year, you just made a 400% gain on your money, right? But there's a problem. There's a problem. It's not a bad problem. It's a good problem. If you're a hodler, hodling, you probably heard that term, stands for holding on for dear life. You're not trading, you're just buying and holding. If you bought one Bitcoin right now and it went up 4x, then at the end of the at the end of the next bull market top, you would have one Bitcoin worth $144,000. That's awesome. But you still only have one Bitcoin. That's a problem. How would you like to instead have 10 Bitcoins by the time it hits the next bull market top, or 5 or whatever? Depends on how much leverage you want to use, but I'll show you how that's possible. So let's just go back and let me just show you some, guys, because this is the miracle. This is how you guys have probably heard the term get rich quick scheme, and your whole life when you heard that term, you would think that's a scam or that's a bad thing. But the word scheme is just short for schematic. It means to have a plan. And I will tell you this, that life is too short to get rich slow. It takes many, many, many decades and years to work your ass off. And some of you already know this because you've probably been working a job your whole life and you're not rich yet. And if hard work made you rich, then the women carrying, you know, stuff on their head in the Sahara Desert would be the richest. The people working the hardest, the ditch diggers, would be rich because they're working so hard. So don't think for a minute that you got to work hard. Nothing wrong with working hard, but you need a skill and you need to understand some concepts. Okay. So, and I'm not trying to talk down to anybody or talk through anybody. I've been there and done it. Okay. I haven't been employed or worked for someone else in almost 30 years. I've been self-employed this whole time, but I remember what it was like to go to a job and be told what to do. I hated it. So I knew I had to figure out a way. And I haven't been trading this whole time. I started a marketing business. I had 149 employees at one point and made a lot of money and spent it foolishly and lived and learned, made a lot of mistakes with money. And over the years, I bought real estate. I bought stocks. I made ridiculous trades, $50,000 days, $50,000 losses, $50,000 wins over and over. And then I finally learned a very unique trick that a very rich person told me. It's not about adding more tools to your toolbox. It's not about doing more things. A lot of times, like even losing weight, for instance, if you're struggling with your weight, it's not about buying a gym membership or getting a piece of equipment or, you know, going to the store and stocking up on vegetables. It's not about doing more. Sometimes it's about doing less. It's about stopping things. Stop doing things. Stop eating donuts after 7 p.m. Stop eating sugar. Stop doing things. And that alone will cause you to lose weight. Just stopping that alone will cause you to lose weight, right? Stop eating too many calories. Very simple, right? So the point I'm trying to make, guys, is when it comes to making money, forget all the fancy, you know, indicators. Some people have a crazy amount of indicators. I don't use anything. I use the RSI down here once in a while. Sometimes I don't even have that. The volume I don't care about because I'm a price action trader. I see what's happening on the chart as it's happening. It doesn't matter what the news is saying. It doesn't matter what Aunt Sally says is going to happen because she heard through the grapevine. What's actually happening on the chart is what matters. Okay. So check this out. Imagine if you did what I said a minute ago and you bought one Bitcoin and just waited. And when Bitcoin hits 140,000, you got 140,000, but you still got one Bitcoin. But imagine instead you're in our group and you decide, okay, I don't have enough to buy a Bitcoin. It's 36,000 for a Bitcoin. I don't have enough to buy Bitcoin, but I have 5,000 or I have 10,000 or I got 2,000. So let's say you got $5,000 and you put that in your trading account. And instead of risking the whole 5,000, let's say you go long with 20% of your 5,000, which is only what? Let's say 25%. Let's say you go long with like $1,250. Let's round it to make it even numbers. $1,000. You're risking $1,000 and you go long, but you do it with 10x leverage. So that means you're risking 1,000. You have 5,000 in your account. You're risking 1,000. That's your margin, but you're at 10x leverage, which means you're trading with $10,000 or 10,000 contracts. And then you go long and then you wait. And then Bitcoin does go up in the next bull market. It goes up and we will tell you exactly when to do this, by the way. But Bitcoin goes up to 140,000, which means it 4x's from where it's at now. Okay, so if you didn't have any leverage and you weren't in a trade, your $5,000 would just 4x. So 5,000 times 4 is you would have $20,000 worth of Bitcoin by the time it hit 140,000. But if you have $5,000 in here and you're long with $1,000 at 5x leverage or 10x leverage, well, by the time Bitcoin gets to 140, your overall account would basically be up 20,000 because it went up 4x and you had $5,000 in there, but $1,000 of that, you're at 10x leverage. So that means that Bitcoin goes up 4x in total value, but you're at 10x leverage. So that 4x, multiply that by 10. Okay. Now, if you only have $1,000 at 4x, that means you'll have $4,000 by the time it gets to 140. Multiply that by 10, you'll have 40,000. So that's an extra 40,000 on top of the 20,000. Just because you went long with 10x leverage with $1,000 of your $5,000. I'm not trying to confuse you. So give me a show of hands, guys. if that made sense, or if that just went over your head, because some people need to hear it a couple different ways to get it. So it is math, and I know math is not everybody's strong suit, but the good thing is that it's simple once you get it. Okay. I'm risking $100 here, but I'm at 25x leverage, so I'm playing with 2,500. I'm using the bank's money. If this thing goes up 10%, I'm benefiting from 10% of $2,500 instead of just 100. Just like if the house I bought for 500,000 goes up to $1 million in 10 years, I'm getting all the benefit of the $500,000 property, not just the 100,000 that I put in. I'm getting the benefit of it all. Looks like we got a bunch of, okay, so we got a bunch of thumbs up. How long do the options expire? Good question. These are not options the way the stock market is. They don't expire. This is futures contract trading. And so I could be in a long position for a year. Now, the one thing that will happen during the course of that year is my holding fee will go up. So I know a guy who went long with $300,000. He's up $1.4 million. And I think his fee to close that trade out is about 30-some thousand. But he's been in the trade since like December of last year. So that's a big trade, but he's up over $1 million on the trade. That's a big fee, I mean. So in perpetuity, well, I haven't been in a trade long enough to know how long, but yes, they just it's called a holding fee, and there's a calculation for it. When you open up an account here, you can go and look at all the exactly how that works, but it's a fraction of a percentage that just continues to accumulate as long as you hold the trade. And you're positive, obviously, right? The trade's going up in value. So that's one of the cool things. Not only that, guys, but I can trade, if you look up here in the upper left corner, I can trade a Bitcoin margin, which means when I make a trade and I win, I'm making Bitcoin. I'm not making US dollars. But I can trade on a USD margin if I want to. And if I make a trade, I make US dollars. Or I can trade on USDT, which is a stable coin. And as you can see, I can trade hundreds of different cryptos against USDT. But I prefer to trade on a coin margin, and I prefer Bitcoin. You can trade Ethereum and Bitcoin on a coin margin. And the reason why is because as we're making money, we're accumulating more and more and more Bitcoin. Every time we win, we have more Bitcoin. And why is that important? Because we're making profit right now, but Bitcoin is going to ultimately go up in value. So by the time it gets to $140,000, we want to have 2, 3, 4 times more of it than we started with, right? Because we don't want to just have one Bitcoin worth 140,000. We want to have 10 worth 140,000. And then what happens then? What happens then? Do we sell it? No, because if you sell it, you're going to get hit with a capital gains tax. So let me just show you something, guys. Let's just say Bitcoin continues up and shoots up 80,000, 100,000. Now you're up here and you're in our group. You say, Niko, what should I do? I bought when it was 36,000. Now it's 110,000. Should I sell? Well, when that time comes, we are going to have much better knowledge of where the top might be and where it would be time to pull out. But how do we do? What do we do? Like here's like right here. If Bitcoin was right here, how would we know that this is the top? How would we know? It came all the way down. So if you would have got out here, you would have been happy when it got down here. But then when it started to climb all the way back up, you would have been mad. You would have been, shit, I got out over here. I should have stayed in. And then you get back in here and boom, it drops on you and comes all the way back down. That's the difference between knowing what you're doing and throwing darts, guys. So whenever we see a bull market top, it is a percentage height from the previous time. Like you're going to be amazed to realize this, but the bull market goes up and then it's 800 days from the time it's at the top to the time it breaks out to the next bull market. Bam, bull market, new high, 800 days, new high, 800 days, new high. Right here is where we are, guys. This is where we are. Now, that you might look at that and say, oh, shit, all I got to do is buy Bitcoin. I'll be okay. I don't need Niko. I don't need this trading group. Well, you got to know when to get in, when to get out, because you could buy. Actually, we might be right about here. But let's say you bought right here and then it shot down to 21st before it went up. You'd be like, oh no, it's going down. And then on the news, they're saying, Bitcoin's going to 3,000. What should I do? And you might just get out at a loss. So you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to go in with leverage, especially for the long hauls. But you see this top right here, and you see this top right here, and this top right here, and where it could go from here. There's a certain percentage that happens every time. And as you can see, it's getting smaller and smaller. So there's a calculation that gives us an idea of how high this can go on the next bull market top. I'm going to guesstimate somewhere in the 130 to 100, 200,000 range, but we will know more as we get closer to that time frame. That's not something to worry about right now, but let me just show you what's happening right now. Bitcoin is in an upward trend. And if we look at just look at this as a channel, this is the previous highs, double topped, bottom. And if it comes up to this level again, it will be in the 70 to 80,000 range. Now, if you got out there, if you got in here where it's at and you got out there with 5X or 4X, and also with leverage, you will be a happy person. But guess what we do? We don't get out. What we do is we determine whether we're in the beginning stages of the bear market. It might not be right when it hits this because it might do this. It might do this, which is a double top where it goes boom. And then a month later, it comes up and hits it again. So we want to make sure we don't just get in just when it's starting to dip a little bit, because that's called consolidation. We want to make sure that we are on the down. And we know that by certain levels of support and resistance. We know when it hits certain levels, boom, boom, and it goes through, and then it comes up and retests, and it can't get back through it, then that might be it. Boom, it goes through and retests, comes back down, can't make it all the way back up to retest. That's a good time to go short. But guess what, guys? Let's just say you did what I said a minute ago, and you put $5,000 in your trading account. You go along with $1,000 at 10x leverage, and it goes up to 140 grand. Okay, you got $60,000. You turn your $5,000 and your $1,000 with leverage into 60 grand. And now we see that it's starting to go down. What do? You go short with 10x leverage. But instead of 60 grand going short, or instead of $5,000 with $1,000 in a short position, now you have 60 grand and you go short with 6,000 or 10,000. And then when Bitcoin gets down back to the bottom of its overall channel, let's just say that the new low is here at 52, and it comes down and bounces, boom, and it starts to go sideways and gets ready for the next bull run. From here to here, you turn that $10,000 into another 200,000, and then you get ready for the next bull run, and you turn that 200,000 into a couple million on the next bull run. That's how you can take a very small amount. And by the way, this whole time that you did that, guys, you didn't sell any. So there's no capital gains tax. You didn't convert it to US dollars and send it back to your bank account as a profit. You've left it in crypto. And then guess what, guys? It gets even better. Because you might be saying, well, what good is it if we can't spend it? You can. So let's just say you do get up to $2 million with a Bitcoin. And we are, it could happen even on this next bull run for some of you, but let's just say it takes a couple cycles to get there. And you want to take $1 million out in cash. Well, you can borrow against it. You can just send that Bitcoin over to Coinbase, which is a centralized exchange, or several others that we know about that do this. And you can borrow up to 50, even 60% against your Bitcoin. Tax-free. They send the cash to your bank account, and you can spend that however you want without a tax consequence. Now, why would you do that? Well, here's a real easy reason, guys. Let's say you did have $2 million with a Bitcoin and you sold it because you want out, you're done. Well, you're going to have a 40% capital gains tax. You're going to pay a lot. Okay, you're going to pay like $800,000 in taxes. And then let's just say you did it the other way. You took a 50% loan against your Bitcoin. You pulled out $1 million tax-free. Let's say, and now what happens? How do you pay that back? Well, all that's happening is that Coinbase is going to hold the $1 million of your $2 million of Bitcoin. They're going to hold $1 million of it as collateral. you still have the $2 million worth of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin then goes up to 4 million or 5 million or 8 million over the coming years, you will pay back that loan out of the proceeds that are generated from the collateral that's being held, just like you would if the bank loans you $400,000 to buy a house and you put $100,000 down and the house went up to $2 million in value. You could pay off that loan from the bank, from the collateral, from the equity buildup. Okay, you would have to either take a HELOC out, a home equity line of credit, or you can refinance the whole property, pull all the cash out, go buy another house, pay off the bank, or take a trip around the world, do whatever you want. Tax-free, guys. Someone's asking a question, how much is capital gains? I believe it's about 30 to 40% on crypto. I'm not exactly sure. By the way, I'm not giving you tax advice here, guys. I'm just telling you that you don't pay capital gains until you sell, until you earn a profit. I'm looking at some of these questions here. June says, do you transfer into Tether, et cetera, in between, or just go dollars to BTC or cash? Good question. Good traders control emotions well. Yes. So yeah, you would convert that to a stable coin if you wanted to get out. But we don't recommend that. We recommend you just taking your 2 million, your $100,000 of Bitcoin that you've grown from here to here, and then shorting the bear market on the way down with a little bit of it, not all of it, just a little bit of your money. You can convert. Yes, you can put the rest into USDT, a stable coin, while you're waiting for the next bear market bottom, and then buy back in at that point. There's lots of ways to do it, but we're going to show you the one that makes the most money in the quickest way possible. So does anybody get excited about this? Is we all still here? Anybody sleeping? Let's see. Hey, Niko, Mark says. I'm not reading it out loud because you sent it to me direct, so I wasn't sure if it's a private message or not. Okay, we can talk about that. Jim says, can you get your principal out without taxes? That's a good question. I would, yes. So if you buy, let's say $1,000 worth of Bitcoin from your bank account to Coinbase, and you sell $1,000 and send it back to your bank, then that is an even exchange. You're not cashing out more than you put in. So that would be a non-taxable event. And that's my opinion, guys. I'm not a tax expert, but that's what I understand from speaking to my tax expert. I would highly recommend you still talk to a crypto tax professional. Also, keep this in mind, guys. We are dealing in the decentralized exchanges. Coinbase and crypto.com, these are centralized exchanges. They keep track of you. You have to, do KYC, know your customer. You have to upload IDs, all that stuff. And then come at the end of the year, they will send you a P&L, or they won't send it to you. It'll just be in your back office where you can print out your P&Ls to take to your tax professionals if you want to be above board and do everything right, like a good little Boy Scout and Girl Scout, and tell your accountant, hey, this is how much crypto I bought. This is how much I made. This is how much I lost. Here's all the details. This is everything I have from Coinbase. And that is how you do it. That's how you do it with a business. That's how you do it with your income. That's what you're supposed to do, right? But if you buy Bitcoin or crypto in Coinbase and you send it off from there to a decentralized exchange, and you turn 1,000 or 5,000 into 1 million and you never send it back, then it's gone. It's in oblivion. Again, this is not tax advice. This is not cheating, or I'm not trying to tell you. There's people who buy multi-million-dollar houses in Miami with Bitcoin, and they do it through trust. They do it through all kinds of ways. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you that there are loopholes, just like there are real estate loopholes, just like there are any other kind of loophole. And the IRS will tell you that what they'll want to see is they want to see, first they ask you. You volunteer this information, by the way, guys. They ask you on your tax form, do you own crypto? How you answer that question is going to open up a can of worms. Yes, I do. How much? Where is it? And then you got to show all that. So be careful what you say. If you own crypto, and you want to do everything by the book, then by the way, it doesn't matter. Do it by the book. You're still going to make a lot of money. I always tell people that paying taxes is okay. And there's nothing wrong with it, especially if you made a lot of money. If you owe a lot of taxes, that means you made a lot of money. It's all good. But there are ways to keep it outside of the centralized exchanges, and there are ways to borrow against it in the future. But I wouldn't worry about those problems, guys, until you have those problems. Yes, IRS tax codes have tax shelters and investment shelters. That is true. So I'd say get the problem first of having too much money and not knowing what to do with it before you worry about all that stuff. Because that is a good problem to have. But people do ask me, they get ahead of themselves. Yeah, well, when I make this $1 million, how am I going to pay my tax? Oh, don't worry about it. Let's just make the million first. It's kind of like the advice I give business people who want to start a business. They want to go get their business cards made. They want to get their stationery done. They want to get a logo done. They want to do the font on their card, and they want to get everything looking great. And I'm like, forget all that. Make money. Prove that your business is profitable. Actually sell something to somebody or provide a service to somebody and actually collect money. Now you have a business. Once you've proven that you can make money, then you go open up bank accounts and get LLCs and get your stationery done. Unless you absolutely need that stuff in order to be in business, but most people don't. They do things backwards. What I like to do is show you to make money first, and then you can worry about all that other stuff. All right, guys. Any other questions? Look what. Let me just go back to the chart here, because this is happening while we're talking. So Bitcoin came down. It didn't quite hit my take profit target yet. It's just kind of going up and down. And again, like I said, I took this trade just to give you an example, but I do have a stop loss right here, and it is looking like it is about to hit it. Right now, here's what I could do. I could close out the trade right now and save myself $1 or $2 instead of waiting for it to hit my stop loss. I could reverse the trade right here. I could say, oh, it's going up instead of down. I can just click this button right here and literally reverse position, and it will close out my short position and put me long. But I really don't want to do that because I normally would not go long or short in such a tight little channel. I was just doing this to show you guys how it works. But if this breaks out of this channel here to the downside, I will go short. And if it breaks to the upside, I will go long. That's what we do here. We wait for bigger moves, not inside these tight little channels. Yeah, you can scalp this up and down, and you just got to be paying more attention, because I could have sold this down here when I was up 5%, but it turned on me here because I wasn't paying attention. I was talking to you guys. But the good thing is I have a stop loss in place, so it doesn't matter. Even if it hits my stop loss, I will only lose 10% approximately of my margin. My margin's $100, so the most I could lose on this trade is $10. Is that a big deal to me? No, it's not. So I don't worry too much about it. What would happen if you reversed your position? Would you have any gain or loss? Good question. If I reverse my position right now, I am currently negative $5.95, because here's my entry right here, and it reversed on me. I was in profit right here, but it reversed on me. So it's on my way to my stop loss. If it hits my stop loss, I'll lose approximately $10. If I close it out right now, I'll lose $5.43, which is down here. If I reverse it right now, I will take a $5 loss, but I will immediately be long right here. And I will usually, if I do this at the right timing, I will make back that $5 very quickly as it continues back up to the top of this channel. But I don't know yet that it's going to do that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move my stop loss out of the way, which I don't normally recommend for new people. But because I think that this is just a slight little fake out here, and I'll show you why, I'm going to move my stop loss out of the way. Because as you can see here, it came down and hit here, and here it hit here, and here it hit here, and here it hit here. So we got support, resistance. Support, resist, yes, support, resistance, support. So what does that mean? Let me just draw a line right there. Now you can see it clearer. Support, resistance. Support. This might be support. Resistance right here. So it might just bounce off that line and come back down. I don't know yet. but I'm gonna test that first and make sure before I close out this trade. So let's just see what happens there. Let's see, any other questions? Which time frame do you trade on? Joe asked, which time frame do I trade on? So right now I am on the 5-minute time frame. Very low time frame right now, and the reason why is because I'm scalping to show you guys this example, and I am a scalper by nature. I like to scalp. I like short little intraday moves, like things that are happening right now in the local. This is what we call a local chart. The 1 minute and the 5 minute, you can see a lot of action, a lot of up and down action. But I check all different time frames. So before I take a trade, I don't just look at the 5 minute and say, oh, I'm going to go long or short. I go up to the 1 hour first, and I want to get a better view of what's happening. Okay. I want to see what's really happening overall. It's like being in a hot air balloon, guys. You're in a hot air balloon, and then you're on the ground, and you can only see what's around you in the field, and you see the trees in the distance. But if you get in the hot air balloon and go up about 200 yards, you'll be able to see over the trees. And so by going to a higher time frame, you can see what's really happening overall on the chart. And we are in this upward channel trending up. So even if it does come down, we're still in an upward trend, right? But, you know, we did just bounce on the top of this, and it is possible that it could do a double top. It could come up here and hit it again, maybe even hit it again before it finally climbs down. So I'm not gonna be, you know, risking too much of a big short right now. So I'm just gonna be patient and watch. But as you can see, it is hitting that. As you can see, 3 candlesticks in a row. This one wicked up to it, this one hit it, this one hit it, and this one is hitting it right now with very low volume. What does that mean? It's kind of having a hard time getting through there. So that means that really is a support and resistance level. So it's possible that it could just bounce off that and come down, and I don't have to close out my trade. Just stay in it. So I would just wait on that first. So let me just see if there's any other questions. Yep, it looks like it's heading up. Chad, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Guys, what I'm going to show you guys, though, is I want to show you how you can trade with us. And up to this point, this whole call right here is not a big sales pitch, but we do have an offer. And I always like to offer people help, because what we have can make you a lot of money. And I think that people who have this desire to do this, they've been thinking about learning trading, they've been wanting to get into trading, they've heard about it, they have some kind of draw towards it, but they just never do it, or they never finally take action. I can tell you right now, guys, you will be kicking yourself at the end of this next bull market if you do not understand right now that this is the time to understand the stuff and get in and really take, not only learn a new skill that you can do for the rest of your life. You could be 90 years old with a laptop or an iPhone or whatever kind of device they have at that time. And you can be doing this from anywhere that there's an internet connection and you have a device. You don't need to be physical. This is something that anybody can do. And once you have the skill, guys, it's amazing, because you can do this I do this while I'm walking in the grocery store. I've gamified this. If I'm in a trade like I am right now and I got to leave, I just leave my stop loss and my take profit. I know it doesn't matter. It's okay if it hits either one, but I will just take my phone and I just open up this trading platform on my phone, which I have right here. And I could be in a grocery store walking down the aisle, and I say, let me see if I can make enough money to pay for these groceries by the time I get to checkout. And I do it. I've just gamified it. I turned it into a game. It's fun. Now, I don't recommend you trading while you're driving, but sometimes I'm at a red light and I look and I see that I'm up, or I see that there's a trade setup happening. Boom, short. By the time I get to the next red light, I'm up 10%, 5%. When you understand how to do this, you can just pull money out of the market anytime you want. And I think no matter what you do for a living, I'm not trying to tell you guys to quit your job and to be a full-time trader, but I can tell you this. Some of you might want to do that. And once you understand the skill and you realize that you can literally make whatever you make in a week in a matter of minutes or an hour or two, and you really get good at it and understand it, then you might want to quit your job. But some of you might have great careers. You might have other businesses and professions, and you just want to be able to make an extra 100K a year, because we can show you how to do that pretty easily, guys. That's not even it's not even a lot when you really understand this. When you're talking about 200, 300, 500% gains, on a day or in a week. Let me just give you one more example, guys, because this is when things get really fun. So even if you start out small, there is no minimum. You can put $100 in your trading account, but let's say you put 10,000 or 20,000 in there, or you grow it to 20,000 or 30,000 or 50,000. Well, now, guys, you go long with 50,000 in your account, and you are, the size that you use is 10%. Let's just say, so you're going to use $5,000 on the trade, and you're at 10x leverage, and the move is only 1%. You only have a 1% move, and that happens 100 times a day on 1% moves. Well, if you only have $100 and you make a 1% move, even at 10x leverage, you're only going to make $10 if you have $100. But if you have 50,000 and you're at 5 and you're risking 5,000 with 10x leverage, then you can make $5,000. You make $2,500 on one simple little 1% move. How many times do you need to do that in a day or even in a week for this to be worth it for you? I mean, I can answer the question for you, but I mean, I'm sure you've answered that in your head. So what I'd like to do, guys, is I'd actually like to open up the call. I know that people are texting messages, but if you want to come off mute, if anybody has any questions, feel free to just unmute yourself, ask whatever you want. That's what we're here for. I want to get all your questions answered. And then I'm going to give you an offer, basically how we can help you make this the next best year, 2024, that you've ever had, and show you how you can do that at a fraction of what it normally costs to do this. Anybody got any questions? Come off mute. If you're trying to come off mute and you can't.
Can you hear me?
Miro, yes, I can hear you. Can you speak a little louder, huh?
Yeah, I can try.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you.
Yes. Yeah, I had a technical question, so I don't know if it's a good time to ask, or because when you were showing how you reverse the thing, I had a follow-up question to understand, like when you reverse it, when you reverse it, is your entry point your original entry point, or does it make your trade, is your entry point the point where you reverse it, basically?
Great question. So right here's my entry point. In the short position, here's my entry. If I click the reverse button, it's going to close this trade out, and it's going to go long right here at the current price.
Okay.
But
Right.
the reason why it's a one-click button, I can click the reverse position button. It makes it easier than having to close this out and then go over here and put a new parameters in. If I want to keep the same parameters and everything, I can just reverse the position.
All right. Thanks.
But yes, I will take a little bit of a loss because it is negative right now. It would be great if it reversed it right where I was, right? Because it would put me in profit instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, that would be too good to be true.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Someone just raised their hand. Was that Scott? You guys might want to hang on and wait if you're ready to go. If you want to know what we're going to offer here, you guys aren't going to believe it, because it ain't going to get any better than this. And because Chad and I had a long discussion. We have over 1,200 members in our Crypto Renegades Mastermind Facebook group. We have 150 plus in our Mastermind chat, or have joined our Mastermind since we started in the past year and a half, 2 years. And the price, guys, just so you understand, the price to join the Crypto Renegades Mastermind was $5,000. Okay, it started out when we started 2 years ago, it was $2,500. We had to raise the price because of the amount of time that we were taking. We're going to make a special offer for those of you on this call. It's a no-brainer. It's like, if you're interested in trading and you think that you can find this somewhere better where you get hand holding, literally. By the way, I didn't even hardly tell you everything that you get, because what we do is you get access to the Crypto Renegades Mastermind chat, which is 24/7 live chat. You can ask any question you want, but you also get access to the Crypto Renegades launch room. What is the launch room? The launch room is where we launch brand new token launches, anywhere from 1 to as many as 5 a week. And what is this? These are new tokens that are launching for the very first time. They're brand new. We're able to find them in the pre-sale mode when they're before they even go public. And what does that look like, guys? It looks like this. It looks like this. It looks like getting in on, this is what it looks like before it launches. It doesn't exist. And then boom, it launches. And we're already in because we got in down here on the pre-sale mode. And as soon as it launches, we just sell at 2x from here to here, 3x, and then it dipped down, and then it went sideways for a little while. Then it went up 8x, and then this one went up 30x, all within a week. This was Black Token, one of the ones we shared in our group. 30x, guys. That's 3,000%.
Niko, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Could you tell me how many trades do you guys typically take in a week, a month, or daily basis? And are they swing trades, scalp? How long do you stay in them?
Yeah, great question. So I'm scalping pretty much throughout the day. I'm sharing trades anywhere from 2 to as many as 3 or 4, as many as 5, I guess. Probably the most I've ever probably done in a day would probably be about 10. That's me scalping. Okay. Chad is a more swing trader. Chad is my partner. He also shares his chart in the groups, and he does swing trading. And when we also go live 3 times a week, guys, in our mastermind, we are live 3 times a week. We go live Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And these live calls, by the way, and I'm going to show you this while we're on the subject. They get live streamed to our private Facebook group, Crypto Renegades Mastermind. And so we are live trading in front of you live, just like this. And this is 3 times a week. And sometimes we're on, look at this one. This is an hour long, this one. This is an hour long. If you can't learn being on a live Zoom with me, 3 hours a week, literally. And if you don't have to, by the way, if you don't show up or you miss a call, you just come in here to the private Facebook group and watch the replay. They're live streamed into the private Facebook group. You come in here and watch the replay. But as you can see here, we're trading live. I'm sharing my screen. We're going long. We're going short. We're making hundreds, sometimes thousands right in front of you. And you're learning how to do it while I'm doing it. So you're trading with us live. Okay. We also have the Crypto Renegades membership site. So when you come in, you get access to this, which as soon as you log in, guys, this is a step-by-step tutorial showing exactly what to do first, second, third, fourth, right down the line. How to set up your accounts, how to set up your wallets for MetaMask so that you get into the ICOs, how to set up your, we actually have an onboarding call to help you set up your FEMEX to make sure that your charts and everything look like mine, so that when you're learning and you're watching my screen, you're not confused with what's happening. You know exactly where to put your support and resistance lines. And we teach you this step by step. We're holding your hand, doing this with you live. No one else I know out there is doing that. And then here you can come and watch replay or video tutorials showing you exactly how to set things up, how to avoid scams, how to manage your risk using MetaMask, using KuCoin charting, using technical analysis, candlesticks, understanding. These are all the basics. We want you to go through this, of course, to watch the basics. But even if you didn't watch any of these and you just set up your account and tuned into the live calls and just started copying me, you would be making money trading without even knowing what you're doing. Of course, we want you to watch these and understand what you're doing, but you will learn by doing. You will learn by simply watching us and by just implementing and taking the action steps that we're showing you. So we have a full video library here, all the way down, coaching, recorded calls. These are training calls as well. But as soon as you come into the mastermind, not only do you get access to all that, but you get immediate access to the membership launch room and the membership mastermind group, and also the 3 live calls a week and the private Facebook group. Also, we have a special offer that we're gonna present with you guys today that is so ridiculous that I'm not even sure that I'm smart for doing it. I might have dropped something on my head, but you will see in a minute here how this is a no-brainer. And if I don't see you in the mastermind after today, I'm going to seriously question whether you guys are thinking straight or not. And the reason why is because we are all about not only making money, but showing you how to literally change your financial future, showing you exactly how to, somebody keeps raising their hand here. Let me just go back here for a second here. Mark, Mark, you got a question?
No, that's right. I wanted you to continue here, really, because this information that you're talking about is real important for everybody to know, including me. And, I have some other stuff I wanted to, not other stuff outside this realm, but some other pointers I wanted to kind of throw. That's something later we can talk about.
Yeah, no problem. I encourage people to ask questions, because your questions might help someone else's question that they're scared to ask or didn't think of. So we can get back to your question, but basically, guys,
I don't have a lot of questions because I understand contract trading to some major extent.
Okay,
And
good.
I'm into it. I think these guys, I think everybody, all of us together it would behoove us. It'd be a major advantage for everybody to get into, because contract trading is definitely beating spot trading by miles. It's
Absolutely.
yeah, much better, much better.
Absolutely.
And swing trading. Now, Chad, swing trading might be doing real well too, but I still don't know if it's as effective in major gains or major time as opposed to efforts in the contract trading. I still think contract trading may be the most effective portal to for anybody to get into and to learn, because I think I think that's the quickest, most effective, fastest way to gain ground in the crypto market. I think that's the way I've been looking at it, and how I've been, as I get into these rooms that everybody's in, everybody's doing this spot trading is just, kicking butt, and nothing else really is as effective.
Absolutely. Well, that's why I traded. I've traded everything before, and I find it. And by the way, Chad does trade contract trading. He just does longer. He just does longer positions.
Right. Which can work. That can make long-term wealth.
Yeah, he does it quite well. He's very good at it. He killed it on oil the other day and gold contracts. So
that's the way to go. Yeah, I'm thinking too.
But when it comes to Bitcoin, guys,
I would love to learn both, actually, and I think everybody probably would be advantaged to do the same.
Yeah. Listen, if you're on this call, everyone, then obviously you are interested in learning about crypto. I've been trading since 2015, Bitcoin. I've also been trading since 2009, probably about 2008, 2009, stock market options. I got into trading Bitcoin futures contracts because once I started doing that, it was night and day easy compared to dealing with the stock market. Not only that, but trading on decentralized exchanges is a pleasure compared to dealing with the regulations and the restrictions that are in centralized exchanges like on E-Trade. You have to have the day trading rule. You have to have a minimum of $25,000. You can't day trade more than 4 trades in a week. It's kind of a pain in the neck unless you got a lot of money. And so
this is the new gold rush. DeFi is the new gold rush, and it's kicking anything that's regulated and government political based, influence. Yeah, the politicians they just take too much advantage, and them not being able to harness this DeFi right now is a real major plus for the layman public. Is the way to go. And we've got to actually bring these politicians down a few pegs, because they're taking too much. That we've got to stop paying our April 15th. That's another thing. We give too much taxes to them. They have all of our money and they do what they wish, and it's just not right. All of it's not right.
All right. Yeah. So let me. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Marco. Let me finish here, and then we'll get your questions answered, buddy. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Because there's a lot of people on here. We've been on for over an hour and a half, even longer than that, and a lot of people want to know what we're doing here. So let me just share it with you guys. It's a no-brainer. Listen, the government, the world policies, everything that's going on right now is heading in a certain direction. You have to take control of your finances. You are the only one responsible for whether you're gonna, barely make it by, or you're gonna make a lot of money. So we're here to help you. We're the Crypto Renegades. We have a special offer for the people on this call today. It is a no-brainer. Now, like I told you before, the cost to join the mastermind up to this point is $5,000. We are offering a fast action discount. We're taking over $1,000 off. It's $39.97 for paid in full lifetime access. But we also are offering, for those of you who cannot afford that, we are offering a one-time $9.97. It's $249 a month after that. And guys, if I can't help you make 10 times your money back within a few months of being in this group, then I wouldn't blame you for leaving. But I can tell you this, once you're in this group, you will probably rather pay your membership to be in this group than your cell phone bill or your car payment, once you really understand how much money you can make and how much support you're going to get and showing you how to do this. So that's the offer. Chad's going to post the link in the chat there for you guys. You can click on that. This is an offer for today, guys. We're trying to make it as easy for you as possible. You're going to get full access to everything that we offer. You're going to get access to the 2 Telegram groups, the Crypto Renegades Mastermind group chat. You're going to get access to the launch room that I just went over with you. You're going to get access to the private Facebook group, which has all the replays of all the live calls. So if you ever miss one of the live calls, this is right here on the screen. So the link is in the chat. If you click on it, basically, you're going to see this. And basically, guys, if you miss one of the live calls, you could just go into the private Facebook group and watch the replay. If you have any questions, you text me or you ask them in the mastermind chat, or you can private message me. But let me give you a little bit of incentive for those of you who are willing to pay in full or ready to pay in full, the $39.97, not only to get lifetime access, but you will get 5 hours of private one-on-one time with myself. Now, that's not all at once. That 5 hours can last you 2 months, 3 months, because you might have a question helping set up something, or you might have, hey, you want me to jump on and see if you did something right. That could take 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 20 minutes here. That 5 hours, by the way, is $1,500 in value. I normally charge $1,500 for 5 hour slots. Okay, $3,000 for 10 hours. That's $300 an hour for my one-on-one time. I'm going to throw that in for those of you who pay in full. That's lifetime access plus one-on-one coaching and mentoring. If you can't do that, no problem. We do have the $997, I think it is. Hey Chad, you shared your screen, but I can't move it or anything around. Let me share it. Let me share that same thing you just shared, so I can talk about it. Thank you, though. So if you click on this one right here, guys, that includes that extra 5 hours that I'm telling you about. And I'm telling you right now, guys, we got people in our group that turn $1,000 into $40,000 in 3 or 4 months. We got people who make 30 grand on one trade. It all just depends on how much money you're playing with in your account. But even if you don't have a lot, I'm telling you, you can take a little and turn it into a lot over a short period of time. And that's the point here. So if this is the best option for you, I can assure you it's money well spent. You're going to learn more by being in our group than spending $25,000 at OTA. If you don't know what OTA, guys, Google it. OTA is the Online Trading Academy. It's $25,000. And they teach you what I'm going to show you how to do. I already paid and went to that class. That's a in-person coaching and mentoring company, one of the biggest in the world. And I already paid and did all that. I'm going to show you not only how to do that, but how to do it with, I'm going to show you how to do it with futures contracts with leverage and really turbocharge your earnings. Jumas, 10K, a decent start. 10K is a very decent start. Like I said, we got people that came in here and had $1,000 left after joining and turned that into $40,000 in 3 months, 3.5 months. That's Paul. He's one of our members. You'll be able to meet him and talk to him in the group. By the way, guys, we're a big, happy family. That's the cool thing about the Crypto Renegades Mastermind as well. We're a family. It's, you know, you might be at home trading alone by yourself, but you're with a group of people, like-minded individuals, all doing this together. It can't get any better. Mark, I'd like to chat when you have a brief few ticks. Yeah. Guys, I highly recommend, especially if you're in a hurry, if this is something that you plan on doing, you see yourself in this group with us, head over to that link in the chat that Chad posted, lock in your position. We're only taking, I think we had it open for 20 people. You know, if more than that join, of course, we only have 25 people on the call right now, but we're trying to make this accessible to everybody. Okay. If our pricing is too much for you, but you really want to do this, send me a private email. We'll see what we can do to help you. But guys, this is about as low as it gets. We want you in the group, and we want you to be comfortable in the group. We want you to be able to not only be in the group, but comfortably be able to fund a trading account. And it doesn't have to be a lot of money. Like I said, you can put $100 in your Femex account, and you can turn that into thousands over time. But I will tell you this, if you got 500 or 1,000, you can get there 5 times to 10 times faster. That's all. That's all that means. Any questions? I'm going to open it up. Come off mute. If you have any questions, feel free to jump out. Now would be a good time. got questions in the chat, but anybody, what software do you use? I use Femex futures trading platform. You don't have to use Femex, but if you're going to be in our group and if you're learning this for the first time, I find it easier that you just use the same platform I'm using, because if you have a question or you want to show me your screen, I would rather it be familiar to me. And I think that if you're watching me trade and you're learning watching me, I think it would be beneficial to you to be using something that's familiar to what you're seeing on my screen, right? So we just recommend Femex. By the way, Bybit and Femex are two of the biggest in the world for crypto trading, but Bybit might require, depending on where you live in the country, might require you to have a VPN to access them, because it's not available to everybody.
So PMEX, Niko, is probably one of the more reasonable platforms. That's pretty more like kind of simplistic to manipulate or understand, or what's going on.
I love it. I've traded on a dozen different ones. In fact, I still have accounts at multiple different platforms, but I mainly trade on Femex. Whenever I have a stock position or something like that, I go to my E-Trade account. I also have a Fidelity account when I'm trading domestically in the stock market.
Right.
But when it comes to crypto, I mainly trade on Femex. I do have a Bybit account. But if, like I said, if you're going to trade with us in our group, I would rather you be using the same platform, because when you're live with us in our group chats and our group calls, and you're watching me trade live like this, it would be better that on your screen, you're seeing the same thing and you don't have some totally different platform that's all whacked.
Niko, I wanted to know if I could transfer from another platform into Femex.
Yes. If it's crypto or dollars?
Dollars. I mean, I do have crypto, but
you can deposit. Well, no, you can't send it from another platform because you can't wire. I mean, unless you can wire it from there. Can you wire it from there?
I believe so. It's
if it's a bank,
Robinhood.
It's possible. I'm not familiar with Robinhood. I never recommend. In fact, I'm glad that if you're going to be joining us, that you stop using Robinhood. The reason why is because, as you might know, I don't know how long you've been with them, but they've had some problems where people will get stuck in trades and they would be down for an hour and then they'd come back up and apologize. But meanwhile, you missed the whole trade. Stuff like that. It's terrible. So I would just get out of there. If you can't send US dollar or if you can't send USD, then convert it to Bitcoin and just send the Bitcoin straight over to Femex.
Okay.
Because you have what's called a wallet address at Femex, so you can deposit almost any kind of crypto. But you can deposit US dollar, but usually you have to use a checking account, ACH transfer, or a debit card or credit card.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, PMEX, I believe, I'm going to throw this in. I from my knowledge and familiarity of it for the last decade, it's been one of the one of the more reliable and well-tested platforms, I think. And I don't know if you can I don't know if you're going to be able to top it. It's probably one of the better ones out there.
I love it. I never have a problem with it. Everybody in our group that uses it loves it. Guys, the volume on a daily basis, just so you get an idea, we're looking at about $600 million in turnover just in the last 24 hours on this platform. So you don't have any issues getting in and out of your $10,000 or $5,000 or $1,000 trades. There's no liquidity issues. Any other questions? Thanks for commenting on that, Mark.
Sure.
Yeah, Femex, Yannick, it's Femex. It's PHEMEX. By the way, guys, I have a referral link that if you're going to join with us, I give you my referral link, and you will get free crypto by using my link, because I refer a lot of people to Femex. I don't care if you use my link; you can go directly to them, but you do get something for free if you use my referral link.
Yeah, I think you both on referral links in crypto, everybody gets about the same. You get the same, and your referral gets the same. You both get correct. Yep. Everybody gets like a little leg up for their use.
Yeah, and because I coach and teach people, and I recommend Femex, I also, once you join our group, I will send you a discount code for their paid. They do have a pro version, and it's very inexpensive. It's like $69 a year, and And what that allows is it allows you instant withdrawals and deposits. Whereas if you don't have the paid and you want to withdraw, you can withdraw up to 4 times a day. So you put your withdrawal request in to send to Coinbase or wherever you want, and it has to wait for whatever the appointed time is for the withdrawals to go through. But if you have the pro account, you can withdraw instantly whenever you want.
Yeah, that's like a coaching perk for your clientele, I think is what it is.
It is. They like it. They like it when we help them grow. And
All these companies out there, they all do it. Even people like Venmo and Cash App, you know, you can, all these platforms, it doesn't even matter what it is. All the financial platforms are starting to treat that kind of thing the same way. Everybody gets a perk, and then the coaches get a perk, and then because your clientele is being brought in. And I think you can even use some of those platforms for financial conversion, like Venmo and Cash App. You can even go through some of that stuff to get into the crypto market and help if you're like not in the United States.
right. That's right, guys. They're making it so easy for everyone around the world that are even in third world countries where they don't have access to banking. It really is. You are in, a lot of people think they missed it because Bitcoin's 30 grand. Trust me. You know, I have a friend, I told them, I said, buy some Bitcoin. It was $800 a Bitcoin. This is back, 2014, 2015. Then it went to 1,500, said it's too late. It doubled already. I said, no, buy it. Then it went to 2,500. He didn't. You know when he finally bought? He bought when it was 18,000. And then right now people are saying, oh, it's too late now. It's 30,000. When Bitcoin is 3,500,000, you are going to wish that you got into Bitcoin when it was $30,000. Trust me on that. Yep. And it will get there. It's just a matter of time. This is not an if.
It might even dip a little bit between now and then, but
oh yeah, for sure.
If you don't get in now, it's like this is the perfect time. This is the moment, because anything higher than this, and you're gonna kick yourself. If you don't catch it.
June, what coins can you trade? Solana, yes, you can trade. Let me just share my screen to show you again real quick. I put that link in there again for those of you guys in case you didn't see it in there, but if I go up here to the top, right now I'm on a Bitcoin margin trading against the US dollar. But if I click on USDT up here, stablecoin, I can trade any of these tokens. There's Solana right there, XRP, ADA, BNB. I can trade anything against the USDT. And there's like well over 100, several hundred, I think. I can just keep scrolling. So on a coin margin, you can only trade Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the only two that you can trade on a coin margin, which means when you make a trade and win, you're making that coin. You're not making US dollars. But then you can switch over to USD margin. You can trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Solana, and XRP. You can trade that on a US dollar margin, which means that if you make a trade and win, you're making US dollars, not Bitcoin. So great question. I want to use your link, Omar. Okay, I will post my link here. Actually, I like to share that with the members here, but you can definitely use my link. And if you're joining with us, I'll send you the link right after the call. No problem. Like I said, guys, it's not mandatory to use my link, but you might as well. You're going to get some free FEMEX tokens, or you're going to get some free tokens out of it, free Bitcoin or something. Keith, man, I've been trying to get in with you guys for over a year. This has to be my time. This is your time, man. You can do it. What does the software cost? June, it doesn't cost anything to open up an account at FEMEX other than just your deposit. You have to deposit money to trade. The cost is in the transactions, the maker and taker fees. When you enter a long position or a short position, and then you close out that position, there is a entrance fee, 0.075%, and an exit fee when you close the trade out, whether you win or lose on that trade. That's how the platforms make their money. Can I do a transfer from another platform? I'm not sure if that was Chris who asked the question earlier, but yes, you can. All you need is your the token address, your wallet address, your account wallet address in FEMEX, and then you go to your other platform and you click the send button. And it has to be Bitcoin, or it has to be obviously Litecoin. You have to be sending the same coin from one wallet to another. In other words, you can't send Bitcoin to an Ethereum wallet. I'm sure you already know that. but if there's anything like that that you guys don't know or you're unsure about, we teach all of that in our membership site. We go over the basics, from the very basics all the way up to the skill level. So don't feel like you might be left out or that you need to know something first before you start. You do not. You just need to take the step. Once you take that first step, you're going to know more than you did before you took the step. Once you get in the group, you're going to start to look around and see things, and you're going to learn more than you knew before you joined the group. And after a couple of days of watching us live trade, and you have an account set up, and you literally watching it go up and down, and you hear my signals and say, this is why we're doing this, and this is why we're doing this, you're like, oh my God, I know this now. And then a total stranger could come up to you and ask if you know anything about trading. You could literally explain things to them that you never knew before within a couple of days of being in our group. Trust me, that's how quickly you will catch on.
So the monthlies, Niko, as opposed to the $4,000 all up front, is just like another switch way to get in, right? There's no difference in your the benefits, right? The benefits.
The only difference is the people who do pay in full are going to get that extra 5 hours of one-on-one time with me over. And you can use that. That's not all at once. You can use that over months if you want. 10 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 30 minutes here, an hour here. Of my time, but that is available to everyone in the group. Even if you're on the monthly, you just need to book a call with me and schedule it. And you can always either upgrade to that later. That's kind of a little VIP special, but everyone in the group does get one one-on-one call per month.
Nice. Yeah, I was wondering that, and Joom asked it too. So since he asked it and I was wondering, I figured I'd just ask in voice for us all to know.
Yeah, no problem. Muriel says, hi, Niko. I'm on a business trip right now. I have not understood how you place the order or position. Is it okay if we set a short call sometimes? Yes. So guys, obviously you can book a strategy session call with our team, and you'll get put either on my calendar, Chad's. But the offer that you see on your screen right now, the links right now, is for today, for this webinar. And I highly recommend that if you know that this is what you want to do, get in, and then you can book calls with us, and we're going to help you. Any confusion you have right now, anything that I didn't cover, that for some reason didn't think to cover for whatever reason, is not something you need to know right now. But I can tell you this: you will not be left behind. You will not be a person that's in our group who says, well, I don't understand this, or you didn't go over this, or how do I do this? You are going to, it's almost like we teach on a 4th grade level. You are going to see how quickly the easy stuff is, and then you're going to move on to the next level and the next level, and you're going to learn very quickly. But the reason why we have such good results with our members is because we're holding your hand. We have 3 live calls a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 12 noon Eastern every one of those days. And if you cannot make that, those calls are live streamed into the private Facebook group, so you can go in there and watch the replay anytime you want. And then if you have questions, you can go back into the mastermind chat and say, hey, Niko, I got a question for you. You can ask it right there in front of everybody, or you can send me a private DM on Telegram if you want to be private. And if you want to schedule a one-on-one call with me, you just say, Niko, I need to book a call with you, and I send you my calendar link. So there's nothing that you're going to need that we don't provide. You're not going to be in a position where you're going to be like, I paid for this and I didn't get this. No, you're going to get way more than I told you about today.
Yeah, I think early on in this realm of crypto trading, I haven't seen too many groups doing exactly this for the same price. If they're doing it, they're probably over double or triple.
Yeah, guys, I'm in stock signal groups that are charging $495 a month, and all they're doing is texting you a signal, and that's all you get. You better already know how to trade. You better already have a trading platform set up. And yeah, they might not give you access to some kind of coaching or a course, like a course where you literally have to go and read through it or watch videos. But that's about it, guys. No one I know is really live like we are every week, really holding your hands and showing you on the screen. You see how long I've been on this call tonight? It's 2 hours. And you guys have been on here with me, and I really appreciate that. I think I did say in the marketing and the leading up to this call to give us an hour of your time. I'm here 2 hours. This is, Chad gets mad at me sometimes because sometimes I stay on our live trading calls way longer than we should, and we have other calls coming up after that, and I'm still talking away, and somebody reminds me, hey, okay, we're at the top of the hour, I got to go. But so listen, I'm a giver by nature. I'm a teacher by nature. I like to help. I like to make sure you totally get it, totally understand things. I give a lot of analogies because of that, because I want to make sure it's perfectly clear. So you're going to get
value, man. That's value, because I know a stock group. There's this one stock group. They're probably best in their stock category. And he does the same thing. He's on for a couple of hours with his group too. And he does like you. He tries to deliver more, when you're delivering more value, and he cares. He cares about his group. But with his group, you sort of got to kind of catch up with them, because they are really fast and ahead, and they don't like to go slow too often. So you got to know a little bit, or else some of the people in there, you can take them aside, like in here, and you can talk amongst them and learn a little bit more to catch up, have a little tutelage, I should say, on the side to catch up. But you're really throwing some value out here, Niko. I got to tell you.
I appreciate it. And Mark, by the way, guys, I don't know who Mark is. Mark is new on the call. He's not.
I'm new. Yeah, I'm new.
Mark, I appreciate all that. Now,
let me tell you this. I've been following you guys through email for the last year and a half, maybe even close to 2 years, for almost as long as you've kind of been doing this public thing for people. And I just haven't jumped in, and I'll tell you more about that later between you and I, but because there's a story behind it, but backstory. But other than that, I've been all over the place in almost every chat room, every group, every trading group for crypto and for stocks. And you guys have a little leg up on pretty much many or almost any of them, really.
I appreciate that.
And I'm just learning this just by being on the call as a solidifier, but seeing all the emails that I've been getting from you for the last year or 3.
Oh yeah,
I think
we've been around
20.
Guys, if you guys want to Google me or go to go on social media on Facebook, send me a friend request. I have about 50,000 followers on Facebook. I have about 10 or 12 on Instagram. I'm posting videos constantly. None of the videos, you will notice, not one of them am I asking for anything. I'm just giving as much knowledge and information as I can. Now, some of them are short little videos, but the point is that I just like to help people. I like to teach. It just comes natural to me. And I love what I do. So I'm not only teaching a subject, but I'm teaching a subject matter that I love and that I'm actually doing for a living. So, some people teach, they say there's an old saying, people who teach don't do, or people who do don't teach, something like that. The best teachers are the ones who are doing what they're teaching. And I'm not only doing what I'm teaching, but we do it very well. And we show you exactly how to do it daily. So, I'm reading some questions. Jim, what's the difference between the 4K now as opposed to the monthly? 4K, the $39.97 right now is lifetime access. There is no monthly payments after that. And you get 5 hours of one-on-one time with me in addition to that. Which is a value of $1,500 all by itself at $300 an hour, which is what we charge for consulting, and that's included in that. Obviously, guys, if you're paying $297 a month, we got to wait for money, right? We're not really making a lot of money. It only works for us if there's a bunch of you doing it, right? If you just paid me, if it's just one of you paying me $297 a month, it wouldn't be worth my time. The reason why we can do this and make this available to you and help you all is because we want a lot of you in the group, and you're going to see, because of that frees us up to give you the time. It gives you the time that we would normally charge more than most people can afford to get. And I'm not saying that to be, cocky or arrogant. It's just that I don't have the time. I have the time to do the live calls that I do with this group. And the more people in the group, the better. The more people we can help, the better. I love helping people. I love seeing people get results. I love it when, let me just show you this, guys. This is, while we're sitting here chatting here, let me just pull up Telegram again. I love seeing this. I love it when members are posting huge gains multiple times a day, every day. And by the way, these are what signals look like. I mean, can you get any more childish? Look at this. I'm showing you. Now look at this. When you look at this, you might say that's kind of confusing. But when you read my commentary, it says, so Bitcoin broke through the most recent upward trend line on the 5-minute chart. Green arrows. Most recent upward trend line, green arrows. Okay, that's easy. And dropped down to its next support and resistance level going back a couple weeks now. Red arrows. It went up and then dropped back to where the red arrows. This is the support. And then I go on to say down here, but now creating a bearish flag and could drop through to the overall upward trend line, the pink arrow. This is the upper trend line. It could break through here and drop down to here. I mean, I'm doing it as about almost as childish. I wouldn't say childish, but you know, I took a poll and everybody loved the drawings. They're like, no, it makes it easier to understand rather than me just saying go long at 56 and put a stop loss at 359. Rather than just being mathematical, I'm showing you where to do it.
It's elementary, not childish. It's
that's
elementary.
the better word. Yes, elementary. Yes.
Elementary.
So these are like signals, and then when people take them, guys, it's like this: 163%, 9%, 30%, 11%. And by the way, this is when you say 11%. What could that mean? That could mean that someone made $10 or someone made $1,000. It all just depends on what you got in your account and what you're trading with. But I'm telling you right now that you can do this multiple times a day if you wanted to. Or you can do it once a week if you want to. If you're happy making 100% in a week, you know, and compound that over the course of a year, your account will be up huge at the end of the year. But if you want to really get serious about this and you want to just scalp in your free time, you can do this multiple times a day if you want to. Michael, I'm in, just signed up. Can't wait to get started. Welcome aboard, buddy. Welcome aboard. Can't wait to work with you. That's what I want to see, guys. 80%, 80%, 73%. I mean, this is, look at the date here. November 9th. November 9th. November 9th. November 9th. November 9th, November 9th. This is all just today. And then we go to yesterday, November 8th, November 8th, November 7th, 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 7th. So, I mean, it's daily, guys, and it's just constant. So you're not going to be, there's more opportunity than you can ever take. There's more opportunity than I even want to take. I can't even handle it all. And there's no competition. That's the thing I love about this. Doesn't matter how many people are doing this. Thanks, Niko and Chad. I will sign up in the morning as I'm at work right now. Fred, welcome aboard, bud. Looking forward to seeing you in there. Chad has always been great and at answering all my questions. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Yeah, Chad did. Guys, I partnered up with Chad for a reason. Me and Chad connected a couple years ago. I saw some posts that he posted about real estate. We're both in a multifamily real estate group, by the way. We're both real estate investors. My goal is to have 100 units by the, within the next 5 years. I'm on schedule to do that. I like real estate. I like building rental portfolios and all that kind of stuff, but I make money to do that here. I like to take money, make money, and I like to invest it in other things that are more long-term and secure. I love the idea of real estate because it's kind of real, it's not going anywhere. And, when I get old someday, maybe I don't want to look at trading screens anymore and I want to just relax and collect rental income. But
Amen.
So the cool thing about it, guys, is you're in a group of people that are investors, not just in crypto, but we know about other things. We all connect about other things. We talk about it on the live calls. We give opinions and points of view, and we can help you with other things as well besides just crypto.
Concrete assets are always a vehicle, no matter what you're looking at. And with crypto where it is, and I probably say it's just our major future for as long as almost we can see, to its limit, because I'm being told there's a limit to it. There's supposedly written a limit, but I think it fluctuates back and forth with people's use, because people throw the crypto back in, they pull the crypto back out. I don't know if it's going to run out anytime soon. Certainly not.
Nah.
So
we have with Bitcoin is we have a finite amount. There were only 21 million Bitcoins ever mined, and they're at about 19 million now. And so it'll take about another 130 years to mine the other a couple million because of the halvings every year. But not only that, but guys, even when every Bitcoin is finally mined, you're looking at a 20, 25, $30 million Bitcoin. But the cool thing about Bitcoin is you can buy 1 millionth of a Bitcoin. You can buy fractions of Bitcoins. And so you don't need to have a whole Bitcoin. But I can tell you this, guys, you're going to wish you did. It's the equivalent of maybe your grandparents coming over on the boat in the 1800s and buying a whole city block of New York. And imagine if your grandparents did that and you inherited it right now. Would you sell it, or would you just collect the rent from the thousands of tenants paying you an astronomical amount of money to rent the buildings and the units and the shops and the office buildings and all that stuff? That would be the golden goose, right? You don't want to kill the golden goose. And so Bitcoin is your golden goose. The more you accumulate, the more it will reward you in the future. You might say, well, if I do accumulate $20 million of Bitcoin, how can I spend it? I told you earlier, you borrow against it just like you would borrow against your real estate in Manhattan. And what can you do with that money that you borrow? You can invest it in other things and grow it even more. This gives you the opportunity to compound your wealth. And the first thing is, guys, you want to get in now because we are in the beginning stages of the next bull market cycle. You can go and try this on your own. You can get lucky and throw some darts, but you might as well be with a group that knows what they're doing. It's a fraction. It's a small price to pay. Most people that join our group lost a lot before they joined our group. They lost a lot because they didn't know what they were doing. They were just risking. They were going long, going short, or they were just buying random cryptos, not knowing what they were doing. And once they come in with us, they learn some simple things and they make back all their losses very quickly. Okay, so Scott says, looking at the, sorry to cut you off, Mark. I'm answering.
No, I just wanted to say I'm one of those, sort of.
Yeah.
I'm kind of one of those. Some smaller player, but lost. I lost. So what you're talking about rings true or, rings home with me. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut you
okay.
off.
I'm looking forward to seeing you in the group. Scott says, looking at the info on the sign up page, it says it takes about 5 hours a week. When I'm working currently on layoff for a couple weeks, that would be a lot of time in my day as I work up to 12 hours a day from the time I get up for work and when I get back home is about 15 hours. Can the 5 hours be done mostly on weekends? All right, so great question. Let me just say this. First of all, crypto, unlike the stock market, it never closes. So the stock market closes at 4 p.m. or whatever, 5 p.m. on Friday and doesn't open until Monday morning. And every day of the week, the stock market closes at 5 p.m. or whatever it is. So it depends on where you're at in the country. So the point is that crypto is 24/7, 24/7. I mean, you're going to see, you don't have to be up this late, but you're going to see people in the group commenting, yeah, Niko was up posting at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm trading all the time. So I'm sending signals at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. sometimes, Eastern time. Does that mean you have to take them? No, but they're there. I'm trading. I'm showing you what I'm seeing. If you want to take them, you can take them. But 5 hours a week to really understand something, I don't think as a lot. But obviously, if you're working 15-hour days or 12-hour days, you do have a different problem. But let me ask you this: do you want to continue to work 12 hours a day? Because a lot of people say to me, "Oh, I can't afford it," and I say, "How can you afford not to?" If you're doing that and you really love doing that, that's one thing. But if you want to ever stop doing that, or if you ever want to get to the point where you have a choice at least as to whether you do that or not, then you need to learn a new skill to where you can make up some money or have what's called a side hustle, or get to a situation where you can make extra money in your spare time, even if it's very spare time. By the way, you don't really need 5 hours. Chad did put that in there because if you're serious and you really want to learn quickly, I would say 5 hours is a small amount of time. But we got some people that pop on, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there daily. You can do this from your phone. You can do it from an iPad. You can do it from a laptop. So if you're able to take anything with you to work or check in on your breaks or watch things and learn, listen, you might have to work a little harder than someone else at it because you're working so hard already somewhere else. I don't know, but is it worth it to you? I'll pose one more analogy and one more question. If I were to say that if I guaranteed you $1 million to learn Chinese and you had a year to do it, would you take the time, no matter how busy you are, to learn Chinese? If at the end of the year you're fluent in Chinese, you had $1 million, would you do it? That's a hard question. Is this Chinese? Is this as hard as learning Chinese? No, not at all. This is not anywhere compared to learning Chinese, but you can earn $1 million in a year if you learn how to do it. And, by the way, guys, I'm in crypto trading. I'm in a crypto trading mastermind where it costs me $9,000 a year, $3,000 a quarter. It's actually $3,000 a quarter, but $9,000 if you pay in full. And the main guy in there trades with 6, 7, 8, sometimes $10 million worth of Bitcoin. And I've seen him make $200,000, 500,000. When I'm making 3,000 or 1,000 or 5,000 on a trade, he's making 200,000. Sometimes every day. Like it's nothing. And so, but did he start that way? No, not at all. He didn't even know anything about trading Bitcoin about 6 years ago, 5 years ago. So guys, you can grow. I mean, I know guys who turned $5,000 into $10 million trading penny stocks. It's all depends. It doesn't matter what the vehicle is. If you get focused on it and you really take the time and you really are interested in learning, you will find a way. So what I'm saying to you, Scott, I believe it was Scott who asked that question. Yeah, Scott, is that it's not a lot of time. Even 5 hours a week is not a lot of time. I know it seems like it when you're already spread out, working 12 hours, but I work 12, 15 hours a day as well. And I have 3 businesses. I have a coaching business where I teach people. This is what we're talking about right now. I also trade. I also have a real estate investment company, and I also have an e-commerce store. Now I've gotten to the point where I can sub the work out to other people on those other businesses. And I do have help and personal assistance and, things, but I didn't start out that way. I just grew to the point where I could do that. But in order to grow, you got to just do first, and then all that other stuff will come.
When you make your money, when you start creating revenue from whatever the one you start, and then you expand to the second one and the third one, you can start paying out other subs to help you do what you do. And there's also AVs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can get AVs to help you, and you can pay them, and they take some of the lowest fees on the planet. VAs, that's right. Yeah, I said AV. I was being dyslexic there for a second. Sorry.
Yeah, we have a couple of virtual assistants that help us with Crypto Renegades, and we also have some other staff. And absolutely, guys. But and I always tell people, you probably hear that term that says multiple streams of income. Everybody wants multiple streams of income. But let me tell you this: most people who try to have multiple streams of income may be lucky if they have multiple trickles of income, because there is only 100% and 100%. Right? You cannot give anything 100. You hear people say, "Oh, I gave it 120%." No, you didn't. You can't even, most people can't even give 100% to anything, let alone 120%. And if you have 2 different things going on, you can't possibly give 100% to each of them. And if you have 3 or 4 different things, you're definitely not giving 100% to each of them. And when you do spread yourself that thin, all the things don't work as good. You need to focus on one thing and get good at that one thing and grow that first. And then once that gets good, you can replace yourself, or you can, use that money to leverage it into other things. And that's what we try to show you how to do here. Use trading as a vehicle to get you to where you want to be. But the cool thing about trading is that, and Scott, this is great for people who are already busy, is that it doesn't take much time. Once you have it down, you can do it while you're doing other things. Now, my girlfriend doesn't like it when I look at my phone when we're out in a nice restaurant, but she knows what I'm doing. She knows that that's helping to pay for everything. And so she doesn't mind, but I'm not staring at it. I look real quick. I see the trade. I get in, I get out. I put my phone back down. But you don't even have to do that. But I'm just saying, you can do it from anywhere. That's the cool thing about it.
Yeah, these are good sprouts. Each sprout, you let it grow into, a nice little tree. And once you got it knowing that it's not going to fall or die, and you don't need as much sun and water to keep it going because you're on a roll, then you can expand to another. You can plant another seed. Absolutely. And re-sprout something else. But it always get past the sprout, because if you don't, you're going to neglect it and the sprout's going to die on you. So you have to take care of each sprout first.
That's right. That's right. Always get good at one thing. Focus on one thing. Get the plate spinning, so to speak. You remember those guys that they used to get up and spin a plate on a pole, and then they would get the second one going, then the third. By the time they got to 10 plates, the first one's starting to wobble. They have to go back and start spinning that one. Just get good at spinning one plate. And if you can do that here, guys, then you can call the shots. You can create your own existence, create your own life, do what you want, go where you want, travel when you want, stay where you want, eat what you want. So let's help you learn a new skill. And this doesn't take long. It doesn't take long to get it and understand it. But even if it took a year, even if it did, trust me when I tell you, it'll be the best year you spent learning a skill. The only skill I know of. You could spend $100,000 or $50,000 going to college to get a diploma or to get a degree to go work for somebody else. That's what most people did in their life. But unless you're a doctor or a lawyer, and by the way, I feel sorry for doctors. No offense to any doctors on here, but I would not want to get up every morning and have to go and have a lobby full of people, sick people waiting for me so that I can, work all day slaving away, with other people's lives in my hands. And unless you really love to do that, but if you want to make money, I wouldn't do that. And then you got malpractice insurance, liability insurance, and, people getting sick on you and blaming you for it. Screw that. I would never want to do that. But
it becomes a job. It becomes a just over broke, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
They're just at a higher level on it. They make more money, but they have to pay more money too out. And then they're left with just what they need to pay for their home and their car and their, dog and family. And
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And lawyers, same thing. I got a lawyer friend. Oh, look, we got doctors in this group, and I got good friends who are emergency room physicians who make $30,000 a month, and they are stressing and complaining all the time that they don't have time to do anything. And so guys, listen, is there any other questions? I'd love to be able to answer any questions you may have. The registration link is in the chat. It's been posted a few times. I'm going to post it again right now. Let me know if you need it. Let me know if you didn't see it, or if you've already got it. That's great. Join the Crypto Renegades Mastermind using either one of those links. There is a benefit to paid in full. As we mentioned, you do get an extra 5 hours of consult time with me, which could make a huge difference. Trust me when I tell you, it's well worth. It's basically what I normally charge for the whole price you're paying for being in the group. So it's definitely, and the reason why we're doing this, guys, is we want more testimonials. We want more people to make a lot of money so that you can. And by the way, when you get in the group and you go into the private Facebook group, or you look at the payment pages, you're going to see tons of testimonials from people in our group. You're going to see tons of people that are already doing it. And I already showed you the posts in our main chat. People are just constantly sharing their wins. And we do have a win wall in there. People are constantly sharing. And that's my reward. I love seeing that. But the more people we help, I'm a firm believer in the laws of reciprocation. I like to help as many people. I'm a student of Zig Ziglar back in the day. Some of you may remember him. And the more people you help get what they want, the more you get what you want. And that's what we're all about here. And that's really all there is to it. So if there's any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them now. Otherwise, we're probably going to end the call. I want to make sure that all of you have the link at least. And Scott says, I would love to be able to retire the next year. I already am on Social Security. Well, Scott, what do you got going on? What are you going to do that's going to help that happen? What's the plan? Any other questions, guys? This whole thing has been recorded. There will be a replay link emailed out, but I would get in as soon as I can, as soon as you can. If this is something, if anybody has any questions, like they're not clear on something, or they're concerned about something, or I didn't answer a question, please, now is the time. Jump out. I'll be on here until there's no questions. If there aren't any, then I'd love to see you guys, welcome you into the mastermind. As soon as you, by the way, guys, as soon as you join, let me just show you what's going to happen. I didn't do that earlier, but let me just show you real quick. Real quick, and then we'll call it a wrap. Hold on one second. Let me share my screen again. All right, so as soon as you click one of those buttons, it takes you to the payment page, you join, immediately it's going to take you to this page. Take the next 4 minutes to complete this entire page. It's imperative. So you come here, step one. I mean, this is how easy we make it. Step one, book an onboarding call. Step two, join the launch room. The launch room, the button's right here. You click that, it's going to take you to the launch room. This is where we share new up and coming new token launches so that you can get on them before they even go public. And we're going to teach you how to do it too. So don't worry about that. And then step three, you join the mastermind chat right here. You click that button. Step four, you join the private Facebook group. You click this button. And then step five, you're going to add these calls, the 3 live calls, to your calendar by clicking that button. It's going to open up your calendar. It's going to show you how to add them Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 12 noon. Step five, you're going to join the Crypto Renegades Mastermind membership site. This is where all the training, all the coaching and recorded calls that I showed you earlier right here are step-by-step tutorials. And, you know, while you're waiting to get on your onboarding call with us, you can go through these, start to get familiar with things. Once you get on the onboarding call, we're going to help you set up your accounts. We're going to make sure you know how to set up your MetaMask wallet and your Femex account. And then you're just going to tune in to the live trading calls in the Zoom, and you're going to start to be taught how to do this step by step. It can't get any better. It can't get any easier. I'm telling you. You're going to get to that point where you're going to be like, oh my God, I wish I would have done this 2 years ago. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Any other questions for me at this point? Any questions? It is taking me to different page. The mastermind course is a different price. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Scott. The link that I just shared right above your question, it opens up this page. It should open up this page right here. Become a six-figure crypto trader and secure your financial future. And then if you come down here to get started, you click on that. It should take you to the payment page. Like that. Did you not have that result? Try it again. Anybody else have any issues? Guys, I also recommend all of you, if you're on this call, regardless of what your decision is right now, send me a Facebook friend request. My name is right on the screen. Scott, you're saying yes, it does, but different price showing. Which one did you click? Lifetime access, $39.97, or the other one? Oh, I know. I think I might know what problem you're talking about. We had a glitch earlier in the system, in the matrix. No, it seems to be working for me, bud. Chad, you still on? Scott, he says he's going to try again. Info at, well, I'm just going to put my email in there for you guys too. If you guys have any questions, you can email me directly. Uno momento, por favor. Give me 1 second here. All right. Sorry, there's my email, guys. All right. Any other questions?
I just wanted to throw in another comment real fast. You mentioned Zig Ziglar, and there's another guy, Jim Rohn, he's no longer with us. God rest his soul. But he was the mentor of one of our most famous speakers,
Tony Robbins.
Yep, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins was his protege for many years when he first started as a kid from the street. I think he took him from the street and molded him, and now Tony Robbins is huge. But he always says he owes everything to Jim Rohn.
Yeah, awesome guys, both of them. Yep. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. We don't want to hold you too long. I'm here for you. If you don't have any more questions, we're gonna wrap it up. We've been on well over 2 hours. That was a nice long call. Hopefully you got a lot out of it. Hope you learned some things. I'd love to see you all in the Crypto Renegades Mastermind. I can assure you, you will get your money's worth 10x over. We work with you until you get it. We work with you as long as it takes. You don't have to even worry if you even feel like you're not as good as other people. We'll show you how easy it is to be as good as everyone else when you just do the right thing at the right time. So guys, this is like a combination lock. If I threw you a 4-digit combination lock and said, here, open it, and you didn't know what the combination was, it could take you a lifetime to try to figure out what the combination is. And that's what most people do in life. They don't know what to do. They just fumble around in life. They don't have any direction. They don't have any guidance. They don't know what the code is. But if I just tell you the 4-digit numbers in the right sequential order and you punch them in, the lock opens right up and it's like, voila. It's not luck. It's because you had the code. So, you know, that's what it takes. You have to be around the people who know the code, who've learned the code, who can share the code with you and teach you step by step and show you what the best of the best are doing in the industry. And this is how we do it. And you can not only learn it, but have a lot of fun doing it, because listen, guys, it's fun. It's fun when you make money, especially when you didn't sweat, when you didn't even have to take a shower. You didn't even have to talk to anybody. I talk to people, but you guys don't have to talk to people. You can trade in your underwear in your spare time in your kitchen, drinking coffee in the morning or late in the evening without breaking a sweat. It's the most easiest way I've found so far. So let's see you in the mastermind, guys. I'm looking forward to welcoming you in there. I'd love to see you. As soon as we see you join the mastermind, we will see you come in the group, and I'll be welcoming you, and then we'll get you on the onboarding call and we'll get you going. All right, guys, have a great rest of your evening. Again, if you have any questions, it looks like we got people already joining the mastermind. I see them already in our Telegram group. Welcome, Mike Stefko. Great to have you in there. All right, guys, you guys have a great rest of your evening. Join the group. Let's get you going. Talk to you soon.
Take care, everybody.